in the wide, wide world of sports is going on here?
I promise you, whatever scum did this, not one man in this force will rest for 1 minute until he's behind bars. Now let's grab a bite to eat. Yeah, come on.
I feel the hot wind on my shoulder and the touch of a world that is older. I hit the switch and check the number. I leave it on and then I slumber. I hear the rhythm ringing through it. Flamenco guitar and cumbia music. I hear the talking of the DJ. The travel listen, what does he say? I'm on a Mexican radio. I'm on a Mexican world radio.
Broadcasting live from high atop the J.P. White Building in downtown Roswell, New Mexico. It's Mornings with Mike Winters on 106.5 Roswell's Talk FM.
Is that what I sound like when I talk?
Now, here's your host, Mike Winters.
And good morning, one and all. Welcome to Mornings with Mike Winters. I am he. That would be me, Mike Winters. Happy Thursday, everybody. Yay, welcome to it. Hope you're having a great Thursday thus far. I know it's early, so it could go either way. It's not going well so far. Lots of time to turn it around, but glass half empty, people. You know, wow, so much time to screw it up yet. So anyway, hope you're the half full type. But anyway, happy Thursday to you. Flying solo next couple days, as one that listens regularly knows, Sean is en route as we speak to Las Vegas, Nevada, where he will have several days of fun, and Lord knows what he'll get into for the next couple days. So we'll wait with bated breath of his adventures while he's in Vegas while this next couple days here. But yeah, he's out having a good time. So enjoying a little vacation time. So just me today. Sorry. Hey, don't forget, hopefully people got their tickets for tonight's big banquet. Leadership Roswell Alumni Association they're having their 2022 Community Leader Awards banquet that's happening tonight. So if you got tickets, don't forget, it's tonight, 6:30 p.m. at the VMV Hall at the New Mexico Military Institute. Unfortunately, we are past the point of no return for tickets. Earlier this week, we could have got you in, but today's Thursday, so we can't do it tonight. But yeah, we're going to be honoring some great people tonight. Kay and Dale Rogers, they won the Lifetime Achievement Award. Jason Perry, who we had the pleasure of on the radio show, being on the radio show here a few days ago, is the Outstanding Leader Award. Tina Cisneros, the Commitment to Youth Award, and Margaret Kinnard, the Leadership Roswell Alumni Award winner. And Dale Rogers and Tina Cisneros and Margaret Kinnard, we're going to get a chance to talk to them next week about their award winning and all that good stuff. So, but tonight's the big night. And by the way, too, we're actually also kind of honoring the last 2 years worth of Community Leader Awards because of COVID. We had winners, we had nominations, we didn't have a banquet to really celebrate them. We got the chance to talk to them on the radio and that kind of thing, but we didn't really get to do a banquet for them. So we're really honoring those last 2 years as well, because we didn't get a chance to have a big party with them. So hopefully everyone will be out there tonight. Should be a lot of fun. I'll report back in the morning. All the comings and goings of the event. I'll be there tonight. So, but congratulations to those folks, and we look forward to honoring them this evening. Let me give you the rundown for today's show. We do have a full slate for you. Here in just a little bit, about 7:15, joining us from Big Brothers and Big Sisters, Kim Dusendorf will be back with us, and Sebastian Martinez. He's the Chief Development Officer here for Big Brothers Big Sisters statewide. So we'll have conversation about Big Brothers Big Sisters here in a little bit. In the 8 o'clock hour, around 8:15 or so, we're going to have folks from Bitter Lake Wildlife Refuge join us for an update. They're going to pop in once a month now and give us updates on what's happening out at Bitter Lake and all that. So I believe it'll be Steve Alvarez and Don Well joining us today. But it could be others as well, too. And then in the 9 o'clock hour, we don't have a guest scheduled, so we're going to replay our interview we had last week with Elliot Rodriguez with Loan Depot. And, of course, the housing market, interest rates, all that just went up, and it's a interesting time in the housing market. So he really does talk about, should you buy, and he has some good advice for folks out there when it comes to house buying in times like this. So if you're in the market to sell or buy a home right now, you might want to listen in on that conversation in the 9 o'clock hour. He's always got great advice for that. So, plus we'll have all of your features that include the news of the local variety, national variety, your Wall Street Town Hall business updates, and whatever else we can come up with for this hour of the show. Let's see. Oh, by the way, too, speaking of tonight's Leadership Roswell Alumni Awards Banquet, the silent auction is also happening. If you go online, you can see some of the Facebook and all that, but bidding on things. Reach out to Elaine if you want to bid or anything. But there's 9 different silent auction items, including a Brian Urlacher jersey from his time at UNM. It is authenticated and everything else. But, of course, Brian Urlacher, NFL Hall of Famer, from Loving, New Mexico, but that's one of the big silent auction items, but there's something from everybody here, from Home Depot stuff to the Billy the Kid collection to Honey Depot, the butterfly garden bench they've got there. But there's some really cool stuff there. The Mayor's Mystery Gift, which who knows where that goes. But so some really cool stuff there. All right, it is 12 minutes after 7 o'clock. Let's go ahead and take a look at your weather. Not much talk of rain for today or tomorrow, but this weekend, it's back to game on with the rain. Here's your weather.
I'm meteorologist Steve Hamilton with your Pecos Valley weather. That monsoon moisture moving off to the west. Just for today, we'll be in the mid-90s and lots of sunshine. Overnight, a few clouds and upper 60s, and then maybe an afternoon shower or thunderstorm on Friday. Pretty hot with our high in the upper 90s, and then scattered showers and thunderstorms in the afternoon on Saturday, upper 90s, maybe a late day storm again on Sunday, low 90s. That's your latest forecast. I'm meteorologist Steve Hamilton.
Thank you, Steve. Currently 71 degrees here in Roswell. Humidity also at 71%. Coincidence? Yes. Winds currently out of the north at 5 miles per hour. Sunny today with a high of 96. Winds will be out of the south, 5 to 15 miles per hour. Tonight, partly cloudy with an overnight low of 69 degrees. West winds 5 to 15 miles per hour. Friday, sunny, warm, highs right near the century mark, 99 officially. South winds 5 to 10 miles per hour. Tomorrow night, partly cloudy with an overnight low of 68 degrees. Southwest winds 5 to 15 miles per hour. And then, as I mentioned earlier, the rain chances return this weekend. Saturday, we're looking at a 30% chance of showers and thunderstorms for the afternoon. Otherwise, sunny, hot, high of 97 with northwest winds 5 to 15 miles per hour. Saturday night, we're looking at a 30% chance of showers and thunderstorms, partly cloudy, overnight low of 70. Our chance of rain bumps up to 40% for Sunday, mainly for the afternoon. They do put the caveat that some of these storms could produce some heavy rain. Mostly sunny and 88, so cooler on Sunday. Yeah, 88, that'll be nice. And then that 40% chance of rain continues Sunday night. Once again, some of those storms could be severe with heavy rain. Otherwise, mostly cloudy, overnight low of 66. And then the rain chances continue at least through midweek. I'm looking through next Wednesday, and there's 30 to 20% chance of rain Monday through Wednesday next week as well, too. So today, tomorrow, not so much with the rain, but then looks like Saturday we'll be back in the thick of it for some moisture. All right, it is 7:14. We got a 3-minute break to take care of. We'll do that right now, and then with the folks from Big Brothers and Big Sisters will join us on the other side. Don't go away. You're listening to Mornings with Mike Winters.
Every trial, every heartache, every letdown, you're raising it up for my good.
Country Club Road Church of Christ would like to invite you out to a free concert June 25th at 7 p.m. Come out and enjoy the beautiful music from Lubbock Christian University's very own group, Best Friends.
Let me tell you about my Jesus. His love is strong and his grace is free.
hear songs from their latest album, Solid Rock. It's a fun, free night of music and worship you won't want to miss. All ages are welcome.
Did he move every mountain? Did he part every sea? Yes, he did.
That's Saturday, June 25th, 7 p.m. at Country Club Road Church of Christ, 700 West Country Club Road in Roswell.
The truth be told, the truth is really told.
Hear more of the music from Best Friends on iTunes.
I say I'm fine, yeah, I'm fine, oh, I'm fine.
Roswell Skin Center is here to provide comprehensive skin care to southeastern New Mexico in a friendly and warm environment. Dr. Cometti and his team continue to offer a full scope of medical and cosmetic dermatology services, from treating skin cancer to helping you look your best. Roswell Skin Center is proud to introduce Anna Ingalls, licensed esthetician who specializes in cosmetic treatments including laser rejuvenation, hair removal, facials, chemical peels, and more. Anna is accepting new patients, and when you schedule your first treatment, you can receive $50 off and begin earning valuable discounts to be enjoyed throughout the year. Schedule with Anna by calling 575-208-2509, and for more info on our services and rewards, go to roswellskin.com.
It's the first day of the first grade, and she found a new best friend. It's a laid-back Sunday afternoon you wish would never end.
The homemade taste of bluebell and good friends gathered round. The good old days are being made right now.
Our Cookie Two-Step Ice Cream is a creamy vanilla ice cream with hints of brown sugar, chunks of chocolate cream-filled cookies, and tasty chocolate chip cookie dough pieces. Cookie Two-Step has everybody's taste buds two-stepping, and 1 and 2.
The good old days are being made right now.
The good old days are being made right now.
Look for Bluebell Ice Cream at Albertsons United Supermarkets and all Farmers Country Markets.
The blowout is on. The Honda Summer Blowout is on now at Roswell Honda with an explosive selection of sparkling new rides to choose from, like a 2017 Honda Accord for just $389 a month, a 2019 Ford EcoSport for just $349 a month, or a 2015 Chrysler 200 for just $249 a month. Get a Home Depot gift card and a Caribbean getaway just for stopping by, a VR headset with a test drive, and an Amy's Fireworks bundle with purchase. And register to win a $500 Amy's Fireworks bundle to be given away June 25th at 1 p.m. The blowout is on at Roswell Honda, 2177 West 2nd.
Here's a Mornings with Mike Winters fun fact. Elephants use these skin folds on their bodies to crush mosquitoes. Mike Winters uses his to hide M&Ms. Here's Mike Winters.
And good morning. It is 18 minutes after 7 o'clock, and joining us in studio this morning from Big Brothers and Big Sisters here in Southeast New Mexico. Of course, Kim Disendorf back with us. Good morning.
Good morning.
And then also joining us, the Chief Development Officer, Sebastian Martinez. Good morning.
Good morning.
And you, so you're based out of Albuquerque?
Yep. Our main office is in Albuquerque. Yep.
Okay, so did you didn't drive down this morning, did you?
Not this morning. I drove down yesterday morning.
Okay, good. Okay, I was about to say, like, man, talk about a commute. So I'm guessing you're probably in town here working with Kim and you know, taking care of needs for Southeast New Mexico, portion of Big Brothers Big Sisters.
Yeah, we're driving all around town, meeting a bunch of people and building up our programs and just making connections.
Good deal. Well, and Kim, we talked about this. I don't know if it was last time or earlier. We talked about how the organization of Big Brothers Big Sisters, now that where the Albuquerque part's kind of coming down and being part. So in actuality, it's kind of like the cavalry coming to help you out a little bit here, and got some more volunteers, more resources, things like that to help make sure we can make as many matches as possible here in Southeast New Mexico. So,
absolutely.
So it's a great thing. So welcome to Southeast New Mexico.
Thank you.
So just curious, tell me your background with Big Brothers. How did you get involved with the organization?
Yeah, that's an interesting question.
Yeah.
I actually started 10 years ago as a big.
Okay.
So I was a mentor. My first little was Carlos, and at the time I actually did financial work. I worked for a finance company in Albuquerque, and then I had my own finance planning business. And so I actually didn't even know anything about nonprofits.
But you knew about profits.
I knew about profits, but not nonprofits, and so just, through my own just volunteer work,
Gotcha.
I got to get to know the folks at the office and was really interested in pursuing a job there. So
awesome.
I've been an employee of Big Brothers Big Sisters for 7 years.
Great. So really, you're basically your community service, your desire to want to help, kind of got your foot in the door, saying, "Hey, I as a mentor program, this is great." And then you got, as you became a big, you're like, "Hey, this is more meaningful work than what I'm doing in my day job here. This is something I really enjoy." And you're able to make that transition from banker to being a working here for a nonprofit, which a huge nonprofit, by the way. Big for folks that aren't aware. I think, and that's the thing. I think most people know Big Brothers, Big Sisters, know all what the program is about, but may not know the depths in which it goes to. Where people say, "Oh yeah, it's that's kind of a deal where you work with a kid for a weekend or something like that." It's like, yeah, sort of, but these are kids that are looking for a mentor role in their life. It could be, and this is something Kim and I always talk about. There is no cookie cutter mold of a child. They come from all backgrounds. They come from, 2-parent homes, single-parent homes, foster care. They come from affluent, families with affluent incomes, middle income, with low income. There isn't. Some of these kids may be kids that are dealing with some issues and things. Some of these kids may not be. They just, somebody in their life said, they need a male or female role model to kind of, balance out what's going on in their life right now. And that's where Big Brothers and Big Sisters shines. That's where they say, you know what, hey, because at the end of the day, the volunteers we're asking to come out, we're not asking you to change the world here. We're not asking you to come in and be some kind of guidance counselor or therapist or anything like that. That's not what it is. It's just a big and a kid hanging out and doing stuff together and experiencing just humanity and life and just, hey, come and, you don't have to plan like a grandiose thing. You don't have to, all right, I'm a big, that means I got to, oh, shoot, what are we going to do? All right, let's go Grand Canyon. We're going to work that. You don't have to plan, all right, we're going to go rock climb. No. Yeah. If you do all that, then, yeah, and you want to incorporate, but don't start doing that stuff to become a big, taking your little with you to go see a movie or go take, hey, you're Saturday and you're like, hey, I'm going to run some errands and then I was going to do some gardening. I'm going to go work in the garden.
Yep.
Come on down and do it. That's Big Brothers, Big Sisters. And that's what, and then so one of the big major problems and this was before COVID, this isn't new, is the lack of bigs.
Yep.
That's something that, it's been a struggle the whole time, is to get enough mentors to be there, particularly male. I know you'll take everybody, male, female, but males are sought after a little bit more because generally speaking, it's usually a male role model to a male little and female to female. It's not always the case. Sometimes it's a married couple that works with one or there's special circumstances, but generally when it comes to, something like this, they try to do all that. So I told you I talk a lot.
No, totally fine. You're doing my job for me. So,
but and that's really as far as the struggle to getting bigs, what is it that you guys hear a lot? Is it a time thing? Is it I'm not cool enough thing? Is it I'm just out of my element? What's generally the reasons you hear why someone can't be a big?
It's usually a combination.
Okay.
But I mean, really, at the end of the day, it's exactly what you said. It's about just doing the stuff you already do with the youth. So if you're already outside woodworking in your garage, if you're already playing golf, just bring them along, right?
Absolutely.
I mean, the other side of it is that, as Americans, we are, binge watching Netflix at an incredible rate. We
are.
And we're just asking for 4 hours a month. And if you look at how much people spend, watching TV and just hanging out, I mean.
But even Big Brothers, Big Sisters can work that in too.
Exactly.
maybe that's what it is. You know, your little loves movies, you love movies. All right, we're going to spend Saturday afternoon, Netflix and chilling. That's kind of. But it's not about the activity per se. It's that quality time hanging out together. So I'm curious for you, when you got in as a big, what was that experience like as far as your meeting the little and that breaking of the ice, the whole just being comfortable with each other?
Sure, yeah. So I actually originally started mentoring at YDDC, which is the youth prison in Albuquerque.
Okay, so you had a little experience going in.
Yeah, yeah. And so, and that's kind of where I really learned a lot about the need, quite honestly, is because, you go to this prison and it's full of young boys that, robbed a 7-Eleven in Raton or whatever.
People that were lacking mentors in their lives, probably.
Well, and the common denominator really was that, it was an uncle, a cousin, someone they knew that taught them to do bad. And I quickly learned that if the good people in our community do not step up, the bad people will.
Sure.
And thankfully, we have a whole bunch of good people that are willing to make a difference. So my first Little with Big Brothers Big Sisters, his name was Carlos. And he was really nice, really energetic and excited young person. And he was the youngest. Oh, no, wait a minute. He had two younger sisters. And he would wake up every day and take them to school. He was just very responsible. But the first time I had asked him, the first time I met him, I asked him, what do you want to be when you grow up? And he said, I don't know, which to me was kind of strange because usually a kid has an answer to that.
Astronaut. Or it's always something fantastic.
Yep, exactly. Yeah. And he had no idea, absolutely no idea. And so I said, okay, well then we'll figure it out. How about that? And one of the things that we were actually matched on through Big Brothers Big Sisters, because we match our mentors and mentees based on similar interests, is that I did mechanic work on the side on my own vehicles, changing the oil, spark plugs, and that sort of thing. So we would go out to his apartment complex in the parking lot, and we would change the spark plugs or brake pads or whatever.
And he was into the mechanical side.
He was really into that.
Okay.
Yeah, and one of the things that he started doing was he started asking more questions. What does a spark plug do? What is a brake caliper? What is oil? What is oil made out of? And then he soon started asking, who makes these things? Who are the ones that develop cars? And
cool.
And
he
so
really embraced it and ran with it.
Yep,
good for him.
And so he was the first person in his family to graduate high school and then move on to college.
And he's probably doing very well as in the automotive industry as a technician or something.
Yeah, he's looking at engineering right now.
For him.
And so I've had two other mentees since then, but Carlos is the first, and it was kind of
it was
a really
special
cool
place for your first one. Yeah,
exactly.
That's great. And that's kind of what we're talking about here. Is it sounds like you got a kid who had a ball of energy, but he was almost grounded so much in real life that he didn't get a chance to be a kid. You know what I mean? Sometimes
that's exactly right.
Like you said, he was busy taking care of his little sisters and everything else, and like you said, what do you want to be when you grow up? That's where kids get to dream. It's like, I want to be a fireman. I want to go to space. I want to do, that's the kid's imagination. And this kid's like, I don't know. I have no idea. I'm busy taking care of my sister. I ain't got time for that. And that's it's sad when a kid has to. It's sad when we as adults feel that sometimes. When as a child, no child should have to go through that. And that's where Big Brothers and Big Sisters, and that's why it's important. It's and that's something we want to kind of delineate it. This isn't like an out risk or scared straight program. I mean, sure, there's always little bits of elements in all of this because at the end of the day, you're trying to mold and shape the lives of these young men and women into becoming great productive adults and ability to start their own families and create their own journeys and things like that. And that's all you're doing. So yeah, there's a little bit because some of these kids just come from broken homes, or they come from, every child that walks to the door has a different story. That is life. We all don't start in the same place. It's just how life, but once we're here, we can all treat each other the same and go there. And that's where Big Brothers Big Sisters thrives, because it's all of that. And you're not asking for a lot of time. Basically, it's an hour a week. It boils down to it's. I think the official record is like 4 hours a month or something like that. Yep. And by no means is someone saying, You only spent 57 minutes this week. You're going to have to do 63 next. There's nothing like that. It's just a ballpark, about an hour a week. Some weeks you might not see them at all, and then next week you spend a whole weekend with them. It's just it varies. But that's what it does. It's not really a big commitment. It's not. I know people, like you said earlier, we kind of overplay it in our head and get to a point where you feel like, oh, I'm not qualified. I'm not. This is, what does it eat? Just things like that. Like, those kind of questions. You're like, it's just a person.
Exactly.
And then once you realize that, and then you're like, and then you start doing your thing. It's like, oh yeah, I love this action show or whatever. It's one of my favorites. And the kid's like, yeah, I love that too. And you're like, oh, really? Yeah, okay. That's really what it is. It's like, hey, man, are you into bicycles? Yeah, I got my bike. Oh, I used to love my bike. And that was, that's, you find common ground. And next thing you know, your experiences, which you have a lot. You don't, and that's the thing too, is I think a lot of people don't realize that you do have a lot of life experiences. But as you get older in life, you learn things and you pick up things. And at the time, you may or may not think it's some valuable nugget of wisdom or a useful thing. But then when you realize someone else doesn't know that information and you're like, hey, I used to struggle with that. Then I did this. Now I don't do that. That's, guess what? You're a mentor.
Yeah, my little Carlos, he had never gone to the mountains before.
Yeah.
I mean, and that to me was something that I did regularly. I'm a hunter. I fish. I do all that stuff already, and to me, it's kind of just something I do.
Sure.
But to Carlos, it was a huge, eye-opening experience, right? Being able to go and just see the mountains, see the trees, see the river. It was a huge thing. But we take for granted a lot of what the stuff we do because it's normal. But this really can make a difference in someone's life. And a lot of our mentees, don't leave their little city block, right? They go to their school, they live in their little area, but they don't get past that. And at the same time, it gives us as mentors a different perspective, right? So, and that's the thing, is that it gives both the mentee and the mentor an opportunity to learn and become better.
That's something Kim and I have talked about before. Is I'm sure you could say with every one of your bigs that they've probably taken out as much, if not more, as the little in which they were quote unquote mentoring. That's something that, and I imagine, like for you, when like with Carlos that first time, I mean, yeah, you probably went in, and I mean, obviously you have experienced things, so there's a certain, but then you don't realize, like you said, when those moments of something you said or did with Carlos connected, and the light bulb moment or whatever happened where it just kind of clicked, and it's a beautiful thing to see, and it's kind of one of those, and once you experience that, I think that's when it kind of digs its claws in you and it gets you hooked, and you're kind of like, all right, this is pretty cool. When something, especially with something you're passionate about, or because we all have hobbies or things that we love or passionate about, and it's in our head it's a little more niche than what the rest of the world thinks. But when you start sharing some of those things and a little kind of embraces it or kind of has some of that, and you're like, all right, this is pretty cool. And then you get bit with the bug, and next thing you know, you're here like Sebastian working for Big Brother Big.
You quit your job and go to a nonprofit.
Maybe not that far, but definitely, when that time comes to because at some point, and here's the thing, some of these relationships go on well past the quote unquote big little relationship. And what I mean by that is the kids get bigger eventually. They're not littles anymore.
Right.
And so, you have that relationship with some of these through their teenage years, and next thing you know, they're off to college, and you're conversing back and forth, and every milestone in each other's lives you're sharing when your little meets their partner, eventual spouse, and has their first kids, and starts the first job. All those kind of milestone moments in a person's life, you're a part of it, whether at the party there or at least talking and exchanging back and forth, social media, whatever. I mean, that's and social media, we can all throw that thing out the window some days. But Big Brothers Big Sisters, it's a day you're like, this is really cool. Technology allows. So in some aspects, I'm thinking there's matches that were made years ago, and then social media kind of rekindled some of these and created these longer lasting friendships and relationships that go long past the quote unquote big brother, big sister mentor period, you know, and that's what we hope for. And that's what you want to see is those connections and relationships. And next thing you know, you're kind of looking at your little as like, oh, that's my baby brother, my baby sister. And that's, something. Granted, you're 50 and they're 30, but it's one of those things. It goes through your whole life, and that's awesome, and that's what it really is about. So,
well, and like you said, talking about getting bitten by the bug, we have a big chunk of our bigs, of our mentors that they've mentored, 3, 4, 5 kids. The kid moves or grows up and so they're like, okay, well, I don't have a match anymore. Who you got for me now? Because like once they start, it's like this is amazing.
Well, now they got a hole in their life because every week they used to go do something, and now that's life has changed and moved on already. Hey, we can do this again, and it's a great thing. And please do the research. And here's the thing too. Kim and I talk about this every single time. It does take time. It's a process. You're not going to walk into Big Brothers Big Sisters today and tomorrow you got a little. It doesn't happen that quick. Obviously, there's thorough background checks, make sure everybody's safe and all that. So that takes a little time. But once all that's over, then it's kind of like the Match.coms or something like that. Not quite that, but as far as the level of scrutiny, but just detail. Because I'm not going to lie, you're going to be answering a lot of questions. You're going to be given a lot of information about yourself, but it's to learn about your personality, to learn about what makes you tick, your likes, your dislikes, and littles are going through a same kind of questioning and things, trying to learn about them. And then they'll take all that information and say, these two might kind of blend their personalities, their likes, their dislikes, they vibe. Now, unfortunately, they're not going to crank out a little clone of you. That would be weird.
Hey, might be a future business proposal.
Maybe down there. But that's the idea is, to find interest, find common ground, and use those as your connecting points. And by the way, too, Big Brothers Big Sisters helps with training and all that stuff. So and giving you the tools to help you interact with the little. So they just don't leave you on an island and say good luck to you. Yep. It is a partnership where Kim and the staff here are working with you, but also other bigs and littles that have been doing it longer than you kind of serve as mentors to you as well, and so forth and so on. So it is a community, family knit based type organization, and we'd love to have you a part of it. So
and that process also helps with safety. That's the big thing.
Absolutely,
and that's one of the common questions I get a lot. Is what about safety? What about the safety of the big and the little? And it's that process of getting to know people and going through the background checks and that sort of thing.
Sure.
That we ensure that safety as well.
Yeah, absolutely. So they've been doing this a while. So they've got that side covered and everything else too. So please, if those are kind of worries, I mean, by all means, they're legit worries. But ask. They'll be happy to kind of show exactly how that's done and why that's done this way, and once you see all that, I think you'll feel a little bit better on those kind of needs and concerns. But if for one thing, of course, we've always said this a lot here. If you absolutely don't have the time, the other way you can support is bucks, money, financial support. I'm sure it's more expensive than this now because of the world we live in, but pre-COVID, it was about $1,500 to make and support a match for a year. That's with the background checks and everything involved. So $1,500, that's per couple, per big little.
Yep.
We obviously want more than that, so it's quite expensive. So unfortunately, some of the ways that you guys used to raise money here, that's kind of dried up with COVID, the bins for the donations and things like that. Bowl for Kids' Sake got back on, and it's going to be back on for the next time here, but there's a little bit of time between Bowl for Kids' Sake. So if you go to the website, you can donate directly through there. You can come by the office and drop off a check. There's multiple ways you can reach out financially. So even if you're thinking, don't have the time, too busy, too whatever, but I love what's going on there, cut a check. That'll help it. That'll help too. And if you go to the website, and I'm going to say this, and you're not going to remember it because it's a lot of letters, but it's short for Big Brothers Big Sisters of Southeast New Mexico. So if you go to www.bbbssenm.org, that's the website. If you don't remember that, which you probably won't, just type in or Google Big Brothers Big Sisters, Roswell, Chaves County, Southeast New Mexico. Any of the above will get you to where you need to be.
Yes.
And then, of course, you can like and follow on Facebook as well. Big Brothers Big Sisters, another great way. And if you're wanting unique ways to reach out, but you're saying, like I said, I don't have time to be a big, but I'd like to help out money or some other creative way, reach out to the Facebook. That's a good way to kind of connect through there too.
Yeah. So. Or you can give us a call at the office. It is 627-2227.
Which is what BBBS if you break it down into the letters here.
Yeah. Wow, that's fancy. We don't have that in Albuquerque.
You don't?
No.
Small town, you get to pick number. We have less people need numbers. So.
That's awesome.
Yep.
But yeah, absolutely. Come be a part of this. Come learn more. Just come see what it start. If you know people that maybe they're bigs, talk to them. Talk to see what it's like. See what's going on here, and see. It really is a cool way to make a huge impact on someone's life. At the end of the day, doesn't really take a lot out of your day to do. You're just living life and inviting a kid along for the ride. Pretty much. That's kind of what it is. You do you, and you come and let some of what you do rub off on a little here, and next thing you know, we got another great person that's coming out and going to be adult, and I'm guessing odds are pretty good too that a lot of these littles, come back to be adults, and now they're bigs too. I mean, I'm sure many of your bigs, if you dig in their history, probably they were littles when they were younger. I'm not saying everyone, but I'm sure there's probably a good hunk of them that they know they're doing this because they were on the other side of the equation when they were young, and that's the best advertisement you can do is when you get someone that was a little and really had a great impact, and now they're adults and they're paying that forward. That's a cool thing to see, and it really is a testament to Big Brothers Big Sisters. When you start seeing generations of that, then you're like, okay, they must know what they're doing over there, and that's really what it's about. So
we had it was a couple that were deliberating about whether or not to get involved in Big Brothers Big Sisters at a restaurant in Albuquerque. And of course the wife was trying to strong arm the husband to become a big.
Which is probably usually the case. Just know the chemistry of marriages and things for the most part.
Exactly.
Yeah, that's probably not uncommon.
But what ended up happening was their waiter was actually a mentee in one of our programs. Oh. And he walked up to the table and said, excuse me, I just want to let you know that if it wasn't for my mentor, I would not be in college right now.
How cool is that?
And they immediately signed up on the spot.
Well, you can't plan that, and that is so cool.
Yeah, and then they sent us a message on Facebook. They made a big post about their experience, and they're really excited about joining. So, again, as you were saying, there's a lot more people out there than you think that have benefited from our program. We have over 3,000 matches in New Mexico, which is a lot.
There's a reason why you've heard of Big Brothers and Big Sisters. They've been doing it a long time, and they do it everywhere, and it really is just an organization of love. It is all it is. It's humans being humans to other humans and showing the best of humanity to these smaller humans and saying, hey, let's we always hear it takes a village. This is that part we talk about when it says it takes a village. It really and parents, please, if you feel your child can benefit, this isn't a accusation or a declaration of your parenting skills or nothing like that. It's an opportunity to expose your child to more things, more perspectives, more people's, and each reason why there's a little in Big Brother, it's the reason's different each time. Like I said, some parents, maybe parents working 2 jobs, they got bills to pay, they got mouths to feed, and they have very little time to spend with their kids, and so they're thinking, I spend every free time I have, but they need something more. And Big Brothers Big Sisters can help there, and that's this is what it's there for. Please utilize this. And if I remember right, Kim, anybody can recommend a kid to Big Brothers Big Sisters. So it could be a teacher, a guidance counselor, a pastor, or some youth leader, or anybody that is probably involved in the child's life or sees them. It can recommend that. So if if someone approached you and said, hey, your child's been recommended for this program, don't take it as a personal front on your parenting. That's not it at all. It's like saying, hey, someone thought your kid could benefit this, and we'd like to help make sure that happens. Are you down with it? And I think once you embrace it, you're going to find out you got a partner in parenting, and
that's right.
And you're going, hey, why was I resistant to this to begin with? This is amazing now. Because, and let's face it, parents, I don't care how you raise your children, whether you're being the buddy or being the whatever the styles and all that. I don't care. There's just certain, especially when the child hits certain ages in their life, and they get to start those teen and preteen years and all that. It's just part of the growing up process. They're going to question you more because you're the one that for their whole life been telling this is good, this is bad, this is good. And at some point they're going to see and experience other people's opinions on things. And they're going to test and challenge the boundaries a little bit. That's part of growing up. That's part of the human process. And it's sure a lot easier when you got people that they're going to test the boundary with, the people that are on your side. And what I mean, and that's where Big Brothers and Big Sisters comes in. That now you've got a sounding board, someone where your child may not feel comfortable talking to you about, you as the parent, about life because you're the parent. May feel a little bit more open to talk to their big about it. And now you've got the right people helping your child navigate through life's problems, and that's because they're so influenceable at that age.
They are.
And we're so drawn in by, and the influences of social media, TV, their friends, that's a big wall of adversity for someone that's trying to, set the right ways to teach a child. And so Big Brothers Big Sisters helps with that. And
we were talking to a mentor yesterday, and she was mentioning one of the things that they do every year is they make a Mother's Day gift for the little's mother, because the mentor specifically said it was very important for her to recognize how hard of a worker her mother was, and that sort of thing. So, I mean, again, this is as you were saying, a partnership between the mentor and the parent.
Absolutely. And I think once you look at it in that vein, you're going to be much more receptive and much more, because I get it. When someone comes and says, hey, I want to help you with this, everyone's like, what do you mean? I can do it. I got it. There is that bit of saying I can't do my job here. And no. Someone said this child just saw this and said, hey, they could use some more of this. And let's partner up. Let's help with that. And as a parent, your decision is number one on everything on all this. You're in charge. But let Big Brothers Big Sisters help you. Help you be a part of this. But the big thing is desperately need more bigs.
Yes.
I mean, we need little bigs, female, male, but males always seem to be the little harder to bring in. So if you are a male, you're desperately, we'd love to have you be a part of this. Come reach out, come make the phone call, or come by the office and visit, and let's start that conversation. Ask questions, ask what it's about, whatever, I don't care how weird it is. Ask the question and let these guys kind of, set the record straight on whatever you thought or didn't think, and let's get this, because at the end of the day, this is all about those kids, and we've got to play catch up a little bit now. COVID has really put things back, and one lesson we all know and are learning real hard, if you didn't know it before, is kids don't stop growing.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter.
Imagine that.
It doesn't matter what's going on in the world. They're going to keep developing and growing, and we need to, A, get back on pace with what we're doing, and B, let's fix the gap of the kids who didn't get what they should have got in these 2 years of COVID. And so we're really playing that battle. So roll up your sleeves, get involved, check it out, come have some fun. That's the beauty of this too. This isn't this isn't really work. This is you going out and saying, hey, I'm going to bring a kid while we do our fun. We're going to the park or splash pad. We're going whatever we were doing. And if you got kids, even better. Now they're making friends and everything else. I mean, that's part of the equation. It's all about people connecting and in a good way. And that's
the mentor that we were talking to yesterday, she was saying that she's like, my whole family has just really embraced my little, you know, she said, and it's like she's part of our family now, and and it's just amazing to see that.
Yeah, it is. So let's learn about the path and let's start it here and make a difference in these kids' lives. Like just out of curiosity, I always like to ask just to give people perspective. Right now in southeast New Mexico, do you have the number of littles that are right now waiting for bigs?
I think it's about 34.
Yeah, it's usually around in that mid-30s there, which and this is, I'm not trying to guilt people, but this is the thought I think of every time, and it makes me sad. Some of these kids have been on that list for a year or so.
Or some of them longer, yeah.
And I don't care who you are, that messes with your psyche at some point. Because these kids, and obviously big brothers, everyone's telling them it's not you, but when a kid says, I want a big, and now they got to wait 2 years before someone's willing to be their big, I'm sorry, the kid at some point is going to think they're the problem. You know what I mean? It's easy for that. So please, we need to nip this in the bud. If there's people that are really, we got some kids that have been waiting way too long. I hate and this is a scary thought, but what do these kids wait forever and they outgrow the program because they're waiting for a big that never comes?
Yeah.
And I'm afraid that's what we're going to have happen with some of these. And that takes big, what I'm saying? That makes things backwards, not forwards here.
Yeah.
So please, learn more about this. Do it as a couple. If you're thinking, you know what, I don't know, this might be, but husband, wife, power couple, between the two of y'all, next thing you know, you're yin and yang in this thing and getting it done, and it turns into y'all are like some kind of superhero team. It works out, but that's whatever it is. Every match has its own unique dichotomy there. You just run with it. Run with it and have fun with it.
Yep.
So. Yep. Is there anything we were supposed to mention that I just got on a tangent about? Because that happens.
No, I mean, again, if anybody wants to speak with us about anything, honestly, I'm even happy next time I'm down in Roswell to meet with anybody that would like to, business owners or individuals in the community that are interested in our programs in general. Come and ask me the questions. Ask me the hard questions. I'm happy to answer and give you a good idea. I think the bottom line is that we all need coaches, right? We have football coaches for kids. We have soccer coaches. We have teachers, and the more of a village, so to speak, that we have around our youth, the better. And this is how we make New Mexico a better place. Is through this activity.
I don't want to get political because it's too easy to, but you look at New Mexico and you always look at the numbers, and we're last in education or bottom. The bottom of the list. They can do all the legislation they want all day, and that'll move the needle very little. How do you move the needle? Is rolling up your sleeves, helping kids, doing it one-on-one, each case by case, and eventually you pick each other up and get out of this. And that's exactly what. And I know people will argue about okay, but at the end of the day, this is helping directly. This is you. Soup to nuts, or whatever the saying is. It's you in the thick of it, actually helping people.
Yep.
You physically see it, you emotionally see it, you see the thing happening before your eyes, and that's real. And so
because we have a huge success rate. What are the numbers? It's like something 86%. Or something like that. I can't remember off the top of my head, but of our littles that go on to graduate high school successfully and move towards college. And a lot of these kids are kids that wouldn't have been reality for them because maybe they didn't think that was something they could do necessarily, or so we do. And so, like you said, making a difference. It is just one kid at a time. But if we've got 100, and then it moves to 200 and 300. You know, we can reach all of Roswell and then all of Chaves County. You know, we just need people to be involved.
Yeah, just take that moment. So reach out. Like I said, here locally, a couple different ways. You can go directly to the website. It's www.bbbssenm.org. It's short for Big Brothers Big Sisters of Southeast New Mexico. If you don't remember that, just Google Big Brothers Big Sisters. You might want to add Roswell, Chaves County, because you're going to get all of Big Brothers Big Sisters, which is, if you want to read and learn about, you're more welcome, but you're going to learn about it in Kansas and New York and everywhere else. And then, of course, look for Big Brothers Big Sisters on Facebook as well here in Southeast New Mexico, and give out the phone number one more time.
And it's 627-2227.
Yeah. And then typically, of course, the office, if you always want to come by, it's there on 2nd Street in the, I never remember the name of that executive building there.
It's the Executive West building.
Yeah.
I think it's the old Featherstone building.
Yeah, if you're heading towards Ruidoso on 2nd, it'll be there on your right as you're heading out of town.
Yep.
Unfortunately, you don't have the big yellow monster there anymore as your landmark. That was always my landmark, the old Breaking Bad yellow mobile.
Yeah.
They had always sitting in the parking lot. Oh, it's that building.
Yeah, it has a big brother sticker on it. Yeah.
That's awesome.
We joke so with Bill, and we joke so much about the Breaking Bad mobile. It was almost like a soft spot because they were wanting to get rid of it for years. I'm like, I don't think you should. I think it's just synonymous with Big Brothers Big Sisters. I think you should put it on a pedestal and leave it here in the middle of the park.
That's amazing.
Yeah, so come on by, reach out, ask questions, talk with others too, and let's together, all of us, make a difference.
Yes.
Very cool.
Absolutely.
Well, thank you guys. Nice to meet you.
Thank you. Nice to meet you as
safe
well.
Safe travels. You heading back up today to
this
ABQ?
afternoon/evening. We're going to be going up there. Yeah.
Bring hopefully. I hope you didn't miss all the rain while you were gone. While you're down. I know they were getting some rain up there.
Yeah, it was raining while we drove up here.
Okay.
Which we're very grateful for. So we needed it.
Yeah. Well, we're pretty desperate for it too down here. They kind of. That's why people run around crazy when you see a raindrop out here. We like it.
Yeah. Got to say, though, I've been enjoying my time in Roswell. This is a great city.
Good deal.
Great people. Just really awesome.
Is Kim taking you to the local haunts to eat and all that good stuff? Or?
Yeah, we've gone to one. Maybe we'll go to one after this for breakfast. I don't know.
There you go.
Kim's the boss. So.
All right. Butter up your boss here with the good breakfast. You know, and you got send him back full belly.
Yes, indeed.
Thank you guys. Appreciate you. We'll see you next time.
All right. Thank you.
It is 7:57. I need to play a couple commercials, or they get mad at me when I do that. So, quick commercial break before news. Don't go away.
75 years ago, something happened in Roswell. The International UFO Museum and Research Center is marking the 75th anniversary of the Roswell incident by giving away $75 cash each hour during the UFO Museum's Ufologists Invasion. Join them July 1st through the 3rd at the International UFO Museum and Research Center for amazing events and guest speakers. And every hour, they'll give away $75 cash to one lucky guest. Check out RoswellUFOmuseum.com for a complete lineup of events, speakers, and hours of operation. And join them in person for your chance to win $75 cash. And don't forget to be there Friday, July 1st at 8 p.m. as the UFO Museum and Research Center at 106.5 Roswell's Talk FM present nationally syndicated radio host Clyde Lewis as he broadcasts his show live from the UFO Museum at 114 North Main in Roswell. The International UFO Museum and Research Center. It's otherworldly.
Big O Tires proudly sells our own brand of affordable tires. Our Bigfoot AT2 offers improved all-terrain traction. Our Legacy All-Season Plus keeps you on the road in any weather. And each set comes standard with the industry's greatest warranty. Now through July 10th, save $100 instantly on select sets of 4 Big O brand tires with installation purchase. Big O Tires, the team you trust. Disposal fees extra and up to 10% shop fee based on non-discounted regular retail price not to exceed $35 where permitted. Not valid with other offers. Valid at participating locations.
At LeGrand Funeral Chapel, we believe that every funeral should be a reflection of the life it honors. The joys, the triumphs, the faith, the family, and so much more. For us, no detail is too small, no request too big. This is Rosa Aguilar. When the time comes to choose a funeral home, we hope you'll let us serve your family. At LeGrand Funeral Chapel and Crematory, we make it personal.
This lot is hot. The summer of savings is on all month long at Roswell Nissan with scorching savings on a fresh lineup of amazing vehicles like a 2018 Nissan Altima for just $319 a month, a 2015 GMC Terrain for just $269 a month, or a 2016 Jeep Cherokee for just $209 a month. Zero down, no payments till August, and top dollar for your trade. And bring in your mailer for the chance to play Lucky Lotto and win cash. The summer of savings on now at Roswell Nissan, 2111 West 2nd, or shop online 24/7 at roswellnissan.com.
Your home for Sean Hannity in Roswell. 106.5 Roswell's Talk FM, KEND, Roswell, New Mexico.
News this hour from townhall.com. I'm Rich Thomason. Gun control legislation continues to move forward in the Senate, where debate on the bill could begin today, and Senate Majority Leader Chuck Schumer says he wants to see it pass by the end of the week. Senate Minority Leader Mitch McConnell signaling his support for the measure in the wake of recent mass shootings.
A bipartisan group led by Senator Cornyn has put together a package of common sense and popular solutions to make these horrific incidents less likely.
McConnell insisting the bill would not infringe on the rights of law-abiding gun owners, but not all of his Republican colleagues agree with that assessment. The House panel investigating the U.S. Capitol riot says it will delay next week's scheduled hearings until next month.
Rich, the fifth round of hearings is still set to take place this afternoon, and it will be the final televised hearing this month. Democrats announced on Wednesday they would hold off on hearings that had been slated for next week. Committee Chairman Benny Thompson explaining to reporters, quote, "We've taken in some additional information that's going to require additional work." Republicans, meanwhile, accusing the Democrat-dominated panel of dismissing thousands of hours of video evidence that might exonerate Trump supporters and of excluding the GOP's most qualified members from the committee. Bob reporting.
With energy prices skyrocketing, President Biden will meet today with oil industry executives. Moody's Analytics chief economist Mark Zandi says there are a number of possible options for bringing prices down, aside from a 3-month gas tax holiday that the president is asking Congress to approve. The White House says the goal of today's meeting with the oil industry executives is to come up with solutions to the price crunch. The school district police chief in Uvalde, Texas, placed on administrative leave. The investigation of the school massacre continues. Watching Wall Street, the Dow is up 221 points, the Nasdaq 89 points higher, and the S&P is up 28 points. More on these stories at townhall.com.
Are you kidding me? Gas prices are up again? Somebody has to do something.
Well, someone did. That's why I use Upside.
Upside? What's that?
It's a free app that pays you back real money for every gallon of gas or diesel you buy. I just earned 25 cents back on every gallon of this tank.
Hold on. So the Upside app is free and you actually get cash back every time you use it? No strings attached?
Yep, it's awesome. Check it out. It only takes a couple of minutes to sign up.
Instead of just watching your dollars go into your tank, start putting money back into your wallet with the free app from Upside. With the price of gas today, it's big news and big money. To cash out of your Upside cash, just transfer it to your bank account, PayPal, or a gift card. Upside users have already earned over $200 million. Now it's your turn. Download the free Upside app and start getting cash back on every gallon of gas. Use promo code SALEM for an extra 25 cents per gallon cash back in your first fill-up. That's promo code SALEM. Remember, use promo code SALEM for an extra 25 cents per gallon back in your first fill-up.
The Estonian Prime Minister Kaja Kallas warns the West against underestimating Russia's military capabilities in Ukraine, saying that Moscow's in it for the long haul as the war enters its 5th month.
In addition to commenting on Russia's military commitment, Kallas says in the interview, the only thing that President Vladimir Putin hears from the global response to his aggression is that he can do this because no punishment will follow.
Every next time will be more with more human suffering than the last one was. So I think for us, it is important to not make that mistake again, like we did in Crimea, Donbas, Georgia.
Kallas says Europe should ensure that those committing war crimes and attempted genocide in Ukraine are prosecuted. I'm Charles de Ledesma.
The search for survivors continues in Afghanistan after a powerful earthquake that struck earlier this week. Townhall.com. Just how bad is a homeless problem in Berkeley, California?
A notoriously liberal enclave across the bay from San Francisco has a population of just over 100,000 and a homeless count of over 500. Over the last 9 months, the city says it's hauled off over 75 tons of drug paraphernalia, garbage, and human waste from a homeless encampment. Based on city estimates, that's about 500 pounds of trash per homeless person, and the cleanup tab being picked up by taxpayers. Ron DeRockstra reporting.
A court in Iran ordering the U.S. government to pay over $4 billion to the families of Iranian nuclear scientists who have been killed in targeted attacks in recent years. The largely symbolic ruling, it underscores the escalating tension between Iran and the West over Tehran's rapidly advancing nuclear program. To get on Wall Street this hour, the Dow is up 185 points. More on these stories at townhall.com.
What in the wide, wide world of sports is going on here?
I promise you, whatever scum did this, not one man in this force will rest for 1 minute until he's behind bars. Now let's grab a bite to eat. Yeah, come on.
I feel the hot wind on my shoulder and the touch of a world that is older. I hit the switch and check the number. I leave it on and then I slumber. I hear the rhythm ringing through it. Flamenco guitar and cumbia music. I hear the talking of the DJ. The travel listen, what does he say? I'm on a Mexican radio. I'm on a Mexican radio.
Broadcasting live from high atop the J.P. White Building in downtown Roswell, New Mexico. It's Mornings with Mike Winters on 106.5 Roswell's Talk FM.
Is that what I sound like when I talk?
Now, here's your host, Mike Winters.
And good morning. It is 6 minutes after 8 o'clock. Welcome to hour number 2.
The Deuce.
Thank you, Tanner, of Mornings with Mike Winters, right here on 106.5 Roswell's Talk FM. Happy Thursday, everybody. Hope you're having a good one so far. Sean's on a vacation, hence Tanner filling in for the Deuce. And next hour's Trace Inviernos, of course. But yes, happy Thursday. Hope you're having a great day. Bit of a break from the rain, which you may not want one. I don't, but we're going to get one at least today, tomorrow. Probably Saturday, though. It looks good Saturday on for the next couple days. We got rain chances back into that monsoon-like weather, but I don't think they're talking much of rain here today, tomorrow, for us anyway. So, but it's southeast New Mexico. Sometimes the chances when they say we're not getting anything is when we get the most. So, what do I know? But happy Thursday. Hope you're having a great day so far. Had a great conversation last hour with the fine folks from Big Brothers to Big Sisters. If you've missed that interview, check it out at your leisure. Just log on to ksvptv.com and click on the Mornings with Mike Winters channel. You also find it on our Roswell Talk FM YouTube channel and on our Roswell's Talk FM Facebook wall as well. Hey, Country Club Road Church of Christ has a free concert happening Saturday night. It's a group called Best Friends, and it's their solid rock album. They are a group from Lubbock Christian University, and they're very talented. And they do Christian music, and they're going to be doing a free concert 7 p.m. This Saturday night at Country Club Road Church of Christ. They're an extremely talented ensemble group, and go check them out. If you go type Best Friends in Google, search them, and maybe Lubbock Christian LCU to tab in, so that way you get the right one. And you can check out their music, very talented stuff. And, of course, we got a commercial going for them right now, and you can hear some of the music in that too. But on iTunes, you can go and look up Best Friends on iTunes and check out some of their music as well too. But yeah, they're doing a free concert 7 p.m. This Saturday night at Country Club Road, Church of Christ, 700 West Country Club Road. It should be a lot of fun. Come on out and enjoy a night of praise, worship, and awesome music. All right, it is 9 minutes after 8 o'clock. Let's go ahead and take a look at that weather.
I'm meteorologist Steve Hamilton with your Pecos Valley weather. That monsoon moisture moving off to the west. Just for today, we'll be in the mid-90s and lots of sunshine. Overnight, a few clouds and upper 60s, and then maybe an afternoon shower or thunderstorm on Friday. Pretty hot with our high in the upper 90s, and then scattered showers and thunderstorms in the afternoon on Saturday, upper 90s, maybe a late day storm again on Sunday, low 90s. That's your latest forecast. I'm meteorologist Steve Hamilton.
Thank you, Steve. Currently 76 degrees here in Roswell. Humidity is at 60%. Winds currently out of the north at 3 miles per hour. Sunny today, 96 for a high. Winds will be out of the south, 10 to 15 miles per hour. Tonight, partly cloudy with an overnight low of 69 degrees. Winds out of the west, 5 to 15 miles per hour. Friday, another sunny and hot one. Highs near the century mark tomorrow, 99 officially. But, you know, it's Roswell, so we'll bust through that century mark. South winds, 5 to 10 miles per hour. Tomorrow night, partly cloudy with an overnight low of 68 degrees. Southwest winds, 5 to 15 miles per hour. And then, as I mentioned, beginning Saturday, the rain chances re-enter the forecast. 30% chance of showers and thunderstorms for Saturday afternoon. Otherwise, sunny and hot with a high of 97. Winds will be out of the northwest at 5 to 15 miles per hour. 30% chance of rain continues into Saturday night, mainly before midnight. Partly cloudy with an overnight low of 70. Sunday, our rain chances increase. Temperatures also decrease. We're looking at a 40% chance of showers and thunderstorms for Sunday afternoon. They throw in that some of these storms could produce some heavy rainfall. Mostly sunny, but a high of only 88 on Sunday. So that'll be nice. That 40% chance of rain continues into Sunday night. Once again, some of those storms could produce some heavy rainfall, mostly cloudy with an overnight low of 66. And then rain chances continue into next week as well. Monday and Monday night, Tuesday, we're looking at 30% chances of rain, 20% chances of rain for Tuesday night and into Wednesday. Highs Monday, Tuesday, low 90s. So 90, 92 for next week as well, too. So maybe some monsoon-like activity on the way. Cross your fingers, do your rain dance, wash your cars. That's the big one. That's the one that gets it done. We need to go wash our cars, and we all go through that. I did mine last time, and it brought some rain. So you dirty card people, you need to get that done so we can get some good rain for the weekend. Please. Roswell's counting on you. All right, it is 12 minutes after 8 o'clock. We're going to take a 3-minute commercial break, and then joining us on the other side of the break from Bitter Lake Wildlife Refuge, we'll have Don Weld with Friends of Bitter Lake. Randy Young will join us as well. That's going to be on the other side. Don't go away. You're listening to Mornings with Mike Winters.
What if? What if the government lied? What if aliens survived the crash? What if they escaped? What if they're still here? Hiding, waiting, preparing. What then? Find out the truth behind the 1947 Roswell incident in novel form. TheVetrixSeries.com.
The blowout is on. The Honda Summer Blowout is on now at Roswell Honda with an explosive selection of sparkling new rides to choose from, like a 2017 Honda Accord for just $389 a month, a 2019 Ford EcoSport for just $349 a month, or a 2015 Chrysler 200 for just $249 a month. Get a Home Depot gift card and a Caribbean getaway just for stopping by, a VR headset with a test drive, and an Amy's Fireworks bundle with purchase. And register to win a $500 Amy's Fireworks bundle to be given away June 25th at 1 p.m. The blowout is on at Roswell Honda, 2177 West 2nd.
On June 23, 1937, Central Valley Electric Cooperative was incorporated as the first rural electric cooperative in New Mexico. 85 years later, members of CVE still benefit from the hard work and foresight of yesterday's co-op pioneers. Co-op electricity makes barns and basements brighter, homes more comfortable, and businesses more competitive. CVE members have seen many changes over the years, but one thing hasn't changed: our dedication to providing you safe, reliable, and affordable power. CVE, proud to celebrate 85 years of powering our members' lives.
Are you tired of the endless spiral of medications that mostly are there to treat the side effects of other medications you take? Many medical providers are quick to prescribe medication without looking for healthier treatment options. At Roswell Medical Clinic, we practice functional medicine, which looks for ways to treat your illness with healthier lifestyle changes and fewer pills. At Roswell Medical Clinic, our providers will take the time to explore treatment options that include lifestyle changes and don't necessarily rely on more prescriptions. Call Roswell Medical Clinic today to schedule your appointment at 575-623-3311 or stop by our clinic at 111 West Hobbs in Roswell. Roswell Medical Clinic. Don't wait for an illness to start valuing your wellness.
Serving part-time in the Army National Guard has led to a lot of firsts for me. The education assistance I received made it possible for me to be the first person in my family to go to school and graduate debt-free. That education helped get me to the first day at my dream job, a job that I can still hold while I serve part-time. That job, plus the other benefits possible from the Army National Guard, helped me become a first-time homeowner. Also, part of my role as a National Guard soldier means I know that I can be one of the first to respond and help my community if disaster ever strikes. I'm extremely proud that I get to serve my community, and that first step I took by joining the Army National Guard has made all the difference in my life. Talk to your local recruiter or visit NationalGuard.com to find out what firsts are available to you in the Army National Guard.
Sponsored by the New Mexico Army National Guard, aired by the New Mexico Broadcasters Association and this station.
Here's a Mornings with Mike Winters fun fact. U-Haul is the world's largest advertiser in the Yellow Pages. Too bad millennials don't know what the Yellow Pages are. Here's Mike Winters.
And good morning. It is 15 minutes after 8 o'clock, and joining us in studio this morning from Friends of Bitter Lake Wildlife Refuge, of course, Don Weld back with us as well, and Randy Young. He brought Randy with him this morning to keep him honest, I think. That's your job?
That's the job today.
Keep Don out of trouble.
That's exactly right.
Well, you have a Herculean task, sir. I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding. Good morning, guys. How y'all doing today?
Doing good. How you doing, Mike?
Doing great. And, of course, we set up, we're Bitter Lake, Friends of Bitter Lake. We're going to be joining us each month now here on the radio show. Mm-hmm. And that's because we want you to come back out to Bitter Lake. Bitter Lake is, now that we're out of the COVID world, things are opening back up, and the events that we all know and love that are kind of synonymous with Bitter Lake Wildlife Refuge are back on. And so we want to get people to come on out and see the beauty that is the Bitter Lake Wildlife Refuge.
That's right. Yeah.
It's a pun, but not a pun. It literally is an oasis in your backyard.
It is.
It's literally just like the one you used to see in cartoons with Bugs Bunny's going through the desert and hits that clump of trees and water. There you go. It's right there. It's a beautiful. Of course, we joke about it. It's kind of, for us, it's a beautiful wildlife refuge. For many of our migratory animals, it's a pilot flying jay, basically.
There you go.
Many of them.
That's exactly right.
There you go. That's the way. Good way to look at
it. That's kind of what it is. But we would love to get people to come and spend some time out here. We've got. Of course, I know it's the other side of summer with the Dragonfly Festival, but now's the time to start putting those on your calendars. Before you know it, the tour dates and everything are going to be up there, and you're going to be able to start reserving your tour dates and all that.
August 1st.
Yeah, so that's coming up. That's just we're a month or so away from all of that to happen here. So, in the meantime, come and see what you missed the last couple of years out of Bitter Lake here. It's and I know during this time, you guys have done a couple of service projects that were probably stuff you wanted to do over time, but, just life happened and you don't get resources or time or whatever. Mm-hmm. And then COVID kind of created some time and resources to do some of those things.
Right.
So.
Yep. Yeah. We got a lot of things worked on. The staff portion of the Bitter Lake has been out there working very hard. We've got a new bird blind that's opened now. We opened that up 2 months ago, I think it was.
And it's a hit.
It is, yeah. Everybody's liking that. And we got some new plants and watering done on the butterfly trail.
Great.
And I got my butterfly thing on today.
Nice. That's a pretty cool shirt.
Yeah, this This is the worm part. On the back is the butterfly.
Okay. I was like, it's cool, a little gross, but cool.
Yeah. It was worm crawling up my belly here,
That's good.
but no, it's pretty cool.
They're fun. They're fun. So yeah, and that's what we're doing. We're getting all that stuff ready to go.
Absolutely. And please, I and just to clarify, because I want to do this every time just to make sure people don't forget, Bitter Lake Wildlife Refuge is a wildlife refuge. It's there to preserve and to and to support the habitat of this area, and to and the big fight out there is keeping what's native to New Mexico native in there, and keeping what's not native to New Mexico out of there.
No more salt cedar.
Yeah, no more.
That
no
really
more
is the
cedar.
big battle. But Bitter Lake is not the place for you to go camping and boating and swimming and all that. It is a wildlife preserve. Come out and enjoy nature. Come out and see the birds. Come see each season's a different experience out at Bitter Lake. Come experience the wildlife. Come experience even some of the human history that's out there. With if you go out to the visitor center, you can learn some about the Native American history of the buffalo hunting grounds that was all part of this area, and learning some of the things they found through archaeological digs and things like that out there, and just seeing. So it's not just natural history; it's human history in there, as well. And then of course,
CCC,
the CCC stuff. I mean, in and of itself, the facilities and things like that out there are as much of the fabric and history of Bitter Lake as is the plants and animals and the lake itself.
We have some buildings that were originally built back in the 30s by CCC. The governmental
this is during like the New
program.
Deal era, the Roosevelts, when during the Depression, getting us back to they had the infrastructure side with roads and highways, and then they also had the building these kind of projects like these refuges and dams things like that, and it was all part of these programs to do that. So it's history in and of itself through there. It's great. But I do want to make that distinction. So if you're looking to go boat and back, you go to bottomless lakes. That's what that's for.
That's for recreational.
But when you want to come and see nature and get a chance to get your family to kind of take some walks through the trails and see what kind of vegetation and animal life call this part of the country home, and you're going to and you're going to be fascinated, because if you've never been out there, you're going to think, well, how could it be? I live here in Roswell. It's desert. It's, brown, and, I see what. And then you drive out to Bitter Lake, and it's a whole nother universe. It really is. You're going to go there and realize, are we still in southeast New Mexico? Because it's not going to feel that way.
Yeah.
It's going to feel way different.
You might want to think of Bitter Lake as kind of an open-air zoo.
Mm-hmm. That's a good way to look at it.
Yeah. But we don't contain them.
Everything's in their natural.
We give that the space for nature to have its own deal, own thing out there.
So I'm kind of curious when the summer months are here. We talk dragonflies at the end of the summer, but what's kind of the hot action and stuff that's this time of year out at the refuge?
You're not going to see a whole lot unless you get there very early in the morning,
when
right
it's
after
before it
sunrise.
gets hot.
And the gates open at sunrise, so you can get in. Then you might see. We've still got fox and raccoons, and we've even seen some cats. Big. Well, we haven't seen a mountain lion, but we do have like
bobcat
types.
Okay. All right.
That sort of thing.
Not house cats, bobcats.
Yeah, well, we've probably got some house cats out there too, accidentally.
Well, again, that's the fight is keeping things that aren't native to the area out of there. Mostly it's plant life, but sometimes it's animals too.
Right.
That's right. Unfortunately, people think that's a good dumping ground for unwanted pets, which don't do that, please.
Well,
they don't survive. To begin with.
Well, and I always say this, and regardless of your faith or not of faith, nature's a very, my opinion, God worked out the plan pretty good. Others, and so when you go and put a different variable in that well-oiled machine, you can cause quite a disturbance in that whole routine, by putting a foreign substance, an animal that's not supposed to be there or a plant that's not supposed to be there. And it really can wreak havoc on that kind of stuff. And it's a dance. Bitter Lake Wildlife, it's a dance of nature. And you know, like you said, because this time of year, it's June, July, guess what? It's 106 out every day. Animals don't hang out when it's 106 either. So they're going to be out at 6 in the morning or daybreak when they can go get their food or go get whatever they've got to do for the day. And then by the time the sun's up, they're hunkered down trying to stay cool.
Stay out of that heat. Yep, it's a battle for the animals.
Yeah.
So we got to take care of them.
So if you want to come out and see like the animals active, you're going to have to get up early, and the early bird gets the worm on this one. And
That's right.
Come out and see it. Do they get a lot of activity around dusk too, or does it?
We do get some, but they're going to wait until after that sun goes down at night.
Your nocturnal animals start coming. Your owls, and I guess if there's any bats in the area, I'm not sure where there is or not.
There are. We used to have, and I'd like to. Hopefully, we can do that again. We used to have a bat box out there.
Okay.
A couple of them, in fact, and we would encourage the bats. They eat insects.
Oh, yeah, they're great to have.
So since we do get a lot of biting flies at certain times during the year, it would be good to have the bats around to get those.
Maybe we can set up like a Inn of the Mountain Gods hotel-type resort for bats.
There you
go. There at the refuge, and maybe some of the Carlsbad bats can be like, hey, you want to take a little jaunt up north?
Right. Yeah.
Come feed on plenty of our fruit thing, and while you're here, you can have some fun in our cave.
Yeah.
You know, make it a little nice for them. I don't know what amenities they would want to make it a vacation, padded hanging things or something. I don't know.
Who knows?
Great.
A little pole up there,
Nice padded things to hang on, stuff
there
like
you
that.
go.
Nice catchers for the guano at the bottom there,
There you
something
go.
fancy,
We can always put the guano to use too. That's a good fertilizer.
It's a very valuable commodity, guano. I know there's probably some nations in South America and Africa that's a cash crop for them.
It is.
Things like that.
It is.
But yeah, I'm joking about the motel, obviously. But in essence, if you think of that place like that in human terms, you can kind of understand its role a little bit better, and that's why I say jokes about it's the pilot flying jet, because in essence that's what it is. If you're on the road and you hit those places to fuel up and rest and get a drink or whatever, they're doing the same thing. They're come to Bitter Lake. They'll stay a day or so and get water, fed, shelter for the evening, and then when they're ready, they
fly on to wherever
head
they're
on
going.
to their, whether it's continuing north or continuing south, depending on the time of the year, to where they go. It's a fun, amazing little dance that you get to watch, and we could do a plug here to be a friend if you're interested in wanting to experience more of this and see parts of the refuge that generally the public isn't always have access to. Volunteering by becoming a friend like these two gentlemen is kind of a way to do it. The Friends of Bitter Lake, these are all volunteers. These two gentlemen are amongst them. And are you still in charge, or did they pass the baton to?
I passed that along.
Yeah, I
last
knew you were
year.
president for a little bit there, but but
no, I'm now. I guess you might call special events.
he's a gap in the line. Fill in and let's get him in there.
You go.
Yeah, such as Dragonfly and Cranes and Cocoa and our spring cleanup and things like that.
And those are kind of the visible part of Friends of Bitter Lake. Like those, the Friends help and organize and facilitate like the Dragonfly Festival. Obviously, the paid staff is there functioning and doing their and very much a part of the actual festival. But as far as planning, organizing, and all that, it's Friends of Bitter Lake. But on top of that, it's the labor force side too. So when there's a service project like these bird blinds we speak of, or there's a trail that needs to be
cleaned up or resurfaced.
Then the Friends are the ones out there doing these service projects. So if you like gardening, digging in the dirt a little bit, having that kind of fun stuff, and
I got dirty nails.
There you go. And there's only so much havoc you can create in your own yards.
That's right.
And come out, and we've got plenty of acres for you to kind of get involved in. Now, obviously, everything's supervised with the
staff.
Yeah, the biologists, the environment experts, and to making sure that the projects are being done are ones that kind of jive with being eco-friendly and all of that, but at the same time serve the function of which they're trying to do with that.
And we do have a new biologist.
Yes.
He just started on the 21st.
Okay.
Yeah. The longest day.
So like yesterday or day before, which was the 23rd. Tuesday, yeah.
Tuesday, the longest day.
Good deal.
So he had his longest day. But
where is our biologist coming from, just out of curiosity?
I have not met him yet, so
I didn't
I'm
know
not
if,
sure
if
where.
this was a culture shock, our weather and everything, or is this...
Probably.
Or this something...
It has been for our last two.
Okay,
Well, the previous one, it was a shock to him, but the one before that always lived in this area.
Okay,
he had family over in Las
quite
Cruces
familiar
or
with
something, so he knew.
our arid, dry climate.
Yeah,
so.
but the one before, in fact, he got a promotion.
That happens sometimes.
Yes.
They do a good job, they tend to give you other jobs.
You know what they say, you rise to the level of your incompetence.
There you go.
That's a good one.
But
we have a new one now.
Oh, cool! I'm hoping we'll get to meet him here. Maybe,
I'm hoping I can get
maybe
him
next
out
time
next
or
month.
in a month
Yeah.
too. We'll get
see.
him. But I always like when they come from someplace very different from here, and then we expose them to things like green chili is the one that always gets me, because most people embrace it. There's always one or two that if it's new to them. It's, you know what I mean? It's like, I grew up in Maryland, so crab is our version of green chili. You know, like you get people, and it's like most people, they don't mind eating crab, but they don't want to go through the nonsense of picking and all that stuff. That's
the fun of it.
That's part of it. Yeah, exactly. That's the experience. They don't get that. That's a social event. You know,
Yeah.
when we were kids, and they would literally put the paper down.
Yep.
A couple pitchers of beer at either end of the table, and they put a bushel of crab. Now, obviously, I was a kid; they didn't let me have the beer, but you know what I mean. It was, and then everyone sits around with their crackers and their knives and their vinegar or whatever they like.
Crack
to dip
it
in.
open,
and you sit there and just shoot the breeze and eat crab all night. That's part of the deal.
Sounds like a good time.
It is fun. It's a lot of fun, and plus crabs are. I mean, let's face it. If you look at that, I'm not going to lie. The first person must have been awful hungry. They ate a crab. There's just, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because to see that going, I could eat that. I mean, let's face it. I mean, you had to be pretty hungry to see that. But I'm glad they did, because it's a delicacy. I love it. But anyway, it's kind of, I love when they have that green chili in there, and they kind of either, and I love when they when they get it and they eat it and they're like, oh my God, this is so much different, or when we talk about Mexican food and they're all Tex-Mex, and we're like that's not
our.
That's a different.
Yeah, that's fancy Taco Bell, dude. This is what we're talking about. This is with the green. This is authentic New Mexican, which is much more closer to authentic Mexican food.
That's right.
Than Tex-Mex.
A lot of our New Mexico type Mexican food comes from the Native Americans.
Yeah. That makes sense.
Apache, Navajo. Pueblo.
Well, and you think about it, these are people that lived off the land. So what's on the land is what you eat.
That's right.
So, we have the chili. So we were able to infuse that, which I'm sure the natives were very much at cultivating, and they probably taught us how to do it. And then,
they did. They did.
And now we take that and we incorporate the influence of Mexico into that, and that's how we get our foods and things.
That's right.
It's all that incorporate, but it all starts with what's on the land.
Right.
Right.
You ever wonder why you go to Grand Canyon and they got prickly pear everything out there? It's because there's a bunch of them out there. So, by the way, it's pretty tasty. If you ever have like prickly pear jam, or I had a chocolate with prickly pear, and it was pretty tasty.
Yeah.
So if you ever go to that area, go pick some up. It's pretty good. But yeah. So anyway, I got off track.
I even got a recepe to do prickly pear jam.
Do you?
Yeah.
That's where I'm not. I mean, I try if I'm, but I'm that guy that I'll buy it, because I'm like, you know what? There's no way I can do a better job than that guy. I'll just take what that person did.
That's why I haven't made it. But, coming up, Farmers Market.
Yes, here in July.
Yes.
Is Bitter Lake going to have a booth out there?
We're
too?
going to have,
Good.
actually, it's going to be a combination booth.
Okay.
American Legion, Bitter Lake, and Alzheimer's.
Oh, good deal. Which
gonna
means
have all
Don's going
three
to be
of them.
there at all three because these are because Don's
7 to 11 every Saturday morning.
So he can help you with all three of those out there. So
Yep.
I know American Legion, a lot of times they'll have baked goods and things out at the booth. So if you want to pick that up and help out,
we will.
Bitter Lake, I'm sure you can come and learn about different events and things. Sign up to be a friend of Bitter Lake, and
I'll have tickets for the door prize.
Okay. For this year's Dragonfly
For this
Fest?
prize, yeah, Dragonfly.
What is the prize this year?
Oh gosh, I've got all kinds of prizes.
Okay. Is there a big one or a?
We got a big quilt.
And that's kind of usually the
Susie Flint.
The big
always made these.
You have a great lady that.
Yeah, she's fantastic. She has moved over to Los Lunas, but she's still got a quilt and a wall hanging.
And we got the United States Postal Service, so you can get.
Well, they're here.
Oh, good.
They're
Okay.
already here. And actually, Susie's going to be back. She runs our kitchen for the staff during the Dragonfly.
Okay.
So she's going to do that again.
Well, good, because I imagine that's a very important part.
It is. It's a major part.
Because if you've got that many volunteers having to be out at dark 30, you better feed them.
That's right. You got it.
I know I need to be.
Yeah, I get it. That's. I'm telling you, half the life is feed people, man. You show up with a basket of burritos, you could take on the world.
That's right. You got it. You got it. So they'll be there.
Good.
The tickets. Now we're besides the quilts, we've got a duck print. It's not a print. We found out that those duck paintings in the nature store are actually paintings.
Okay.
They're originals.
Oh, wow.
So they could be worth a heck of a lot more than what we have been advertising.
You might been valuing these things on accidentally.
They could be several $100s.
Well, that could be y'all's, as far as Bitter Lake, Friends of Bitter Lake's mistake might be your fortune there.
That's right. And they are still on sale.
Okay.
If they're still there by the time.
Hurry up before they get on eBay and find out the real value of these
That's
things.
right. If they're still there by that time, we will put those out on the drawings.
Quick story, just I got it's all
okay.
But so if for folks who've been listening into the show last couple of weeks, one of our sales reps from Artesia, like a week ago, brought in a Braille Playboy magazine from 1999.
Oh my gosh!
And it's actually part 1 of 4. It's just the articles, obviously, because it's Braille. But it was literally a Braille Playboy from July of 1999. But it was one, and it's this big brown, it's that big Braille paper. It's pretty cool little nugget of, weird history there. But it was sitting here for weeks. And then Tuesday, I was back in Artesia, and the sales rep goes, "Hey, is that Playboy still laying around at the office out there?" I said, yeah, it's still there. Why? She goes, "Oh, I just found out it's worth $400. I want it back."
Oh, my goodness.
no. Yeah, so I said, no problem. So when you said the painting story, I'm thinking, yeah, Joe, be careful. Go get it now before they figure out these things worth more money.
That's right.
But that Playboy reminded me of that same story there, so I had to share.
They used to have an advertisement for a hamburger place out in California. You better buy these before they find out what they're worth. You know what that is? In-N-Out Burger.
Oh, that's In-N-Out, huh?
Yeah,
okay.
that was their advertisement thing for a while.
See, I'm East Coast raised, so I'm from the Five Guys School of Burgers.
Five Guys. Okay.
No White Castles.
Well, you know what? There's always a soft spot for White Castle.
Yeah.
But as far as the In-N-Out Five Guys, I don't know, unofficial East Coast, West Coast, whatever. I'm Team Five Guys.
That's what you grew up with.
That's they grew up
more
because they weren't there.
Yeah,
they actually got big in the DC because they started in the DC area. Actually, Five Guys did. The first one was there right in DC, but so it blew up after I left the area, but it blew up quick, and so I tried it. I actually lived here by the time I tried my first Five Guys, and once I had it.
They were good.
Yeah, I was like, oh, dang, this is... And then I got I made the mistake the first time of ordering a large fry.
Uh-oh.
Which, pro tip, never order the large fry at Five Guys unless you're glutton for punishment. Because, they literally take those brown paper sandwich bags and fill it with fries. They put a cup in there. Why, I don't know. But there is a cup to hold the fry. But there's like 6 fries in there, and the rest of the bag is just fries. You know what I mean? It's
oh man.
And the small fries, same thing, just a little less fries in that same bag. Not much less, but a little less. So get the small. You will share it with at least 2 to 3 other people at the table, but it's delicious. And they always tell you where the fries come from. If you ever notice, when you ever go to a Five Guys, you'll go in and they'll say, today's potatoes came from so-and-so, Idaho. And they'll tell you exactly where they come from. It's pretty.
Wow.
It's pretty. That's my thing. But I've had In-N-Out, and I'll never kick it out of the bed. It's a delicious burger as well. But Team Five Guy.
Okay.
All right, back to Bitter Lake. I don't know how I got sidetracked there, but yeah. So you can beginning the first farmers market here, you can start getting tickets for the quilt, which I think that's where we got off the rails, was at the quilt.
Plus, we got a bunch of gift cards.
Okay.
As well.
Good deal.
Some
for the store and things and like that.
Yeah, we got all kinds of stuff out there. So.
Oh, by the way, if maybe you don't have a couple hours to spend to kind of walk the property and see some of the trails and things, but if you're looking for like birthday gifts or Christmas gifts or
nature store
gifts for yourself, there's no rule saying you have to give it to people. You can keep it. They have an amazing nature store there that's got all kinds of great gifts. So if you've got people that love reading or love, that photos, all that kind of stuff you'll find there, but T-shirts and hats, and it's got so if you've got like the person that likes to do research and that kind of thing, it's going to be plenty of gifts for that person. But if you love folks that like their T-shirts and hats and love even like the kids' toys and things like that, there's plenty of fun stuff like that your younger group will like too. Yeah. But yeah, it's a great, and by you shopping in there, you're supporting, because all the proceeds from that go back into the projects and everything that's part of Bitter Lake Wildlife Refuge. So by you coming out and buying the T-shirts and the books and all that, you're supporting that next bird blind they're going to build, or
that's right,
or next conservation project that needs to be taken care of out there.
We don't have any paid employees at the nature store.
Yes,
we're
it's all volunteers.
But the space was donated to nature store by the refuge.
Nice.
Because that's the refuge building.
Gotcha. Yeah, it's their property.
Right. But they donated that space to us specifically. So everything that we make goes right into the funds to help out on the
So it keeps that overhead low and all that kind of stuff, which is what you want in a nonprofit, because you want to get as much of that to the actual goal of what you're trying to raise money for. So, but if you do have a little bit more time, go wander around and walk out. It is.
Yep.
I'm telling you, it's. We always joke about the Oasis. That's what it is. That's exactly what it is. You can literally drive a couple miles outside of town and be in an entirely different world. And to be honest, that's what makes New Mexico awesome. Yep. That's something. I grew up, like I said, I grew up Maryland, East Coast, green. Stacking up when I came out here, military brought me out. And I remember the first time I was coming on the plane and I see nothing but brown, and I'm like, oh, Lord, what did I get into? But now I've been here since New Mexico since 96. And now I can't imagine living, like, I wouldn't want to live back east if even if someone literally paid me a bunch of money. I'd be like, no, I mean, yeah, I love family. I mean, it's that side, but the hustle and bustle, the way of life, and just the things you see and do out here. I mean, I never got to experience things back east that I got to experience. Like the first time I saw a huge moon was out here in New Mexico. You never see that back east.
Yeah.
I'm like I see movies and they have a big moon, and I'm like, what is that? Some Hollywood trick or something? That's garbage, a cartoon. Nope. And then I get out here, I'm like, holy cow, the moon actually gets that big sometimes, And that was, and just and obviously the fact that you could literally go an hour in one direction and be in an entirely different environment. That you go an hour west and you're in these mountains and pine trees. You go, a couple of minutes up the road, you're at this oasis, and then you go a couple hours north, you're back into these other different mountains. It's just get that back east, and you can't. And so we have a real treasure here, and so
we do.
People that have born and raised and grew up here, come appreciate what you got, because you don't realize how special it is till you don't have it anymore. I would say people in D.C. area, they are guilty of the same thing, because I grew up there. And I was one of the ones that loved going to the museums and the malls and the monuments and all. Love it. It's every American should go do it. It's amazing. But people back in D.C., I mean, Air Force One flew over my house every day. And you kind of, it gets, you know what I mean? It's just, to most Americans, that's like, whoa.
Yeah.
What a crazy thing it just happened. To us, it's like, it happens about 3 times a day. You know what I mean? It's just, that's life. And you can't see the forest from the trees sometimes. And that's kind of what happens to us when we do that. So don't let that happen to you. Come out to Bitter Lake. Come see this amazing, beautiful natural phenomena in its natural habitat. It's doing what it's doing. It's kind of, I mean, it's, and the beauty of, and this is where I learned this lesson a little hard in Carlsbad. Nature does what it wants, and nature goes, and you can maybe coax it, you can suggest it do certain things, but it's going to do what it wants. And,
that's right.
And I think that's part of the awesomeness that is going out there, where you go out and you're like, you're seeing the animals, but then you see something like that was weird, and it's like, well, that's nature. That's what happens. And I learned the lesson in Carlsbad when I went to go out to see the bats leave for the night to go hunting.
Oh, yes.
And I picked a night where I guess they didn't feel like going out so much. Like it's like, all right, here it comes, and there was like 3 bats, and I'm like, all right, that was it. I think I kind of didn't see them because it's kind of dark and it's hard to see them coming out unless there's a bunch of them. And it was just a night that, I don't know if they just had a good hunting night the night before and they were full, or I don't know, or if it was the weather or what. But I would say maybe less than 10% went out hunting that night. But what are you gonna do?
That's nature.
I'm sure if I go the next night, everybody, every bat in the whole place comes pouring out of there. It's
all
just
6 million of them.
But that's what is cool to me, because you don't know, and you don't, and you can't control that. You just gotta sit and enjoy the ride. And if you take it from that perspective, I think you're gonna find it much more fascinating, much cooler, and be much more appreciative of those little things. Like, come out to Dragonfly Festival in the fall here, or late summer. Sign up for as many. They have the early bird tour, which that fills up very quick. So you want to sign up for that one too. They have the Dragonfly tour, which focuses on the dragonflies. But then you have kind of an overall nature tour too, right? Where you get to see not just the dragonflies, but other aspects of the refuge and the plant life. And
if you don't feel like walking around, always take one of those tours.
Absolutely.
And then walk around.
Because then you can go and see all the highlights, and then walk out to the places you want to kind of spend a little more time and all that.
Pick and choose.
Good news is every single one of these tours free of charge.
Right.
Bad news is they're popular, and you got to sign up early, or you're going to not get a tour.
Right. The only thing that's going to cost you is, and bear with me on this, because we're working on having the Boy Scouts come out and do their hot dog thing again.
Oh, good. So you can come out and buy some food and support the Scouts.
Yeah.
Great.
We're going to have something like that.
Good.
And we think the Scouts are going to do it.
Well, and I think that people will be very appreciative of that, because walking around stuff works up an appetite, and you're like, dang, I'm kind of hungry here.
But that's the only thing that's going to cost you.
Good. And then, of course, if you do want to buy things at the store, or if you want to get a raffle ticket for the quilt, that's going to cost money. But again,
there will be some vendors in a big tent.
Okay, so if you want to buy some artifacts or whatever
artwork and artifacts from the area. So.
Oh, cool. And that's the only way you can get them, by the way.
Yes.
Don't go. Well, first off, they usually don't let you out on your own into some of those areas to go. But please, like we said, it's an ecosystem, and we want humans touch as very little as we possibly can, and that's why whenever there is. But that being said, come be a friend.
That's right.
Because now you can go and see some of these parts that the public doesn't get to. But it's for a reason. It's because you got to remember, goal number 1 is to preserve the wildlife and vegetation of that area. That is priority number 1. Everything else is secondary. And if you remember that then you'll understand why the rules are that way. Yes, we want is here for all of people and everybody to enjoy. But to keep it that way, we've got to keep as many people that aren't necessary to the process out of it to do that. So if you want to go camp and doing all that kind of stuff, that's why Bottomless Lakes is here to do that. This is legitimately here to come and enjoy nature. It's come to see animals in their natural, not even past the zoo's a great thing too. Don't get me wrong and all that, but there's going to be things out of Bitter Lake that you'll never see at a zoo.
That's right.
You will never see at a zoo. These are wild animals. These are animals that aren't on a feeding schedule that's created by a human. Or you know what I mean? Not directly.
And you should
anyway.
remember that if you're going to go out there and walk around.
Exactly. These animals and wildlife are there living their natural habitat schedule. So
that's right.
And it isn't on your time. So if they're not as exciting that night, it's because they're living their life. They're not there to entertain you.
That's right. That's right. Do remember that if you do walk around out there during the summer like this, there are snakes.
Yes.
So
and snakes are
going
to be out because they're cold-blooded animals and they go to where it's warm. And so that they're going to be out and about during the day more often, in the warmer temperatures.
Right.
So be mindful of that.
Right.
So
they do most of their hunting for food in the early evenings and early mornings.
Okay. But again, when all the animals are out and when there's plenty
that's when they're
sources
looking
of food,
for food. So
because the mice and rats and various other varmints that they're going after, they're
Are
hunting at
also
those
out there.
times, and so he's hunting them.
but that doesn't mean but the snakes will be out during the heat of the day even.
Yeah, they're just out sunning on the rocks and trying to keep body temperature and things like that. That's their
They'll
nature.
crawl under a tree for a while and then
And to
come
be
out
honest,
again.
they won't mess with you unless you mess with them.
That's
9
right.
times
You
out of
stay
10.
out of their way,
Yeah.
and they're not going to bother you.
If you come by one and say it's a rattler and they start rattling the tail and raising their head and they're just telling you, go away. I'm not going to mess with you, but go away or I will mess with you.
Yeah.
He's warning you.
Yeah.
Take the
I'm going
warning.
to protect myself.
You see the rattler and everything, he's telling you, you keep coming at me, it's going to be a bad day for you.
Yeah.
Take that advice.
Right.
Stay away. And then, of course, if there's a lot of people in there, report, say, hey, there's a
rattler
let
out there.
the proper people know so we can make sure someone doesn't get hurt or something like that. But
we move those out to a little farther distance.
And just remember, you're in their house.
That's right.
This is their house, their rules. You live by their rules. You come into their house, you be polite. Just like anybody, someone comes in your house, you expect that same thing.
Right.
So please be a good steward of that land. And that's why it's not Bottomless Lake, because there is a time and a place for fun and camping and boating, and that's amazing. We're very fortunate to have that, and we should utilize it. However, Bitter Lake is not that place. Bitter Lake is a place for us to come and enjoy the outdoors, enjoy our wildlife, and to learn about these animals. And I'm sure there's so much information that our biologists and things over the years have garnered just by studying what's going on out at Bitter Lake with the plant life, with the animal life. And so we go out there and the friends are there to preserve that, but we're also learning it so the next generation knows what's and obviously what the climate's impact and everything that's going on there. They're using Bitter Lake as a study case to see how's it impacting, what's going on, what do we need to do to countermeasure this kind of stuff. This is at the end of the day, that's the purpose of this. And the ancillary secondaries, we the public to come and be amongst it and see it.
We can observe it, yes.
But you just got to remember, it's not your home. We're the visitors, and treat it as such.
Very true.
Treat it as the Boy Scouts have a saying that when they go out, always leave a place better than you found it. Please use that mindset when you go out to Bitter Lake.
We do have out there a designated area for the Boy Scout, Cub Scout groups.
Good.
Period. That's just for them.
Oh, for them to do their camping or scouting.
They can do their
activities
camping
and
out
things.
there. So, but that's the only camping that's allowed out there at all.
And by the way, all those scouts are trained in, like when they go camping and stuff, they're learning how to
preserve it,
to lay low impact camping things that
Right.
leave a smaller impact on
leave a smaller footprint.
Yes, smaller footprint, and that goes from how they.
That's
eat
exactly
to
why
how
we
they
set
sleep.
this aside for them, so that they can learn that.
Yeah, I remember in my time in Scouts, and again being from Maryland, I got the chance to go to Philmont here, which is a big deal in Scouts. It's a national that camp up in northern New Mexico. It's the largest, biggest Scout reservation in the country. That is the Scout destination. They have other high adventure bases, but the king of the Mount Rushmore there is Philmont Scout Ranch.
Right.
It is the best. And I went there as a kid, and that's where we exercised and learned a lot of that. Everything I owned was in a backpack We had no open fires. It was little one-burner stoves. All of our food and stuff, none of that stayed behind. If you couldn't burn or get rid of altogether, then we pack it out with us. Bear bags, everything that has a smell. By the way, when you go low-impact camping, you don't bring things like toothpaste and deodorant, just telling you. Because,
they smell that.
It smells the bears. But so in essence, there's no point if you're going to be in the woods for a week, there's no point you using deodorant when all you're going to do is attract bears.
Yeah.
That's pretty much what it is all it's going to do. So you don't do those but you learn all that. But even like liquids, and we as low impact camp, we learned all that in Scouts. So that's why they're the ones that get to go out there and do it, because they teach and practice the right way to camp in those to make that, real impact. Now, this isn't glamping and all the stuff you guys are used to, going out to the lake with your coolers upon coolers. And this is you're living in a
pack it in,
a tent
pack
or
it out.
tent-like tent, a bag that's a sleep bag. It's very minimal. You probably only have 3, depending how long you're gone, just a couple of changes of clothes, enough to keep you dry and warm.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, it's not a beauty contest. It's not you're going to smell, you're going to look dirty, and but
it's all right.
It's all right, and you camp, and then by the time you go to some of these camps, you can't even tell someone's been there. That's the way it because, and that's how that's
the
how
idea.
it's supposed to be.
Yeah,
exactly. But anyway, I got on a rant there. We're running out of time here, but if anybody wants learn more about becoming a friend or anything else, is the website probably the best resource, or,
that would be
or
a
Facebook?
good one.
And that's friendsofbitterlake.org, if I remember right.
Correct.
Is the website. If you go to friendsofbitterlake.org, there. By the way, that's going to be the website you can reserve your different tours for the Dragonfly Festival. It'll be all through there direct. So bookmark that website and check back with it often. I know Bitter Lake Wildlife Refuge also has a Facebook page that you can like and follow and ask questions on as well too. Is there a number out at the store if anybody has any questions during business hours there?
Our old number is active again.
Okay.
We had some phone problems.
I think that's what he was digging up there. Was that number?
Yeah, I was trying to find that number in there.
By the way, that's a nice wallet you got there. It looks very very durable.
That's why I got it. I keep busting up other wallets.
Yeah. I think
mean?
I'd have a bruise about that size in my back pocket, though, the way I keep sitting down, though, on that thing.
Okay, Bitter Lake. Now we got it. Hang on, there it is. We've got 2 numbers now that you could use. One of them is 575-625 401. I'm sorry, 625-4009.
Okay.
Now that should get you the front desk.
Okay.
If that one doesn't, try 575-244-6256.
Okay.
And that one of those will get you into the front desk.
Okay.
The 4009 is the one they were having problems with. I think they've got it resolved. It seems to be working good.
Okay.
But the other one is now a backup for that.
Okay. And, of course, like you said, hours, the gates open at dawn and close at dusk, if I remember right. So please leave before then. Though, if you get stuck in, there is someone that can let you out. There's a night patrol person that can get you.
Well,
but
on your way out, if you approach the gate slowly, it will let you out.
Okay, so there is a escape hatch there if you do it. But you're not going to get in after that.
No, it's exit only.
All right, so because I'm sure a time or two someone's back out there and they get wrapped up in the nature and forget that it's dang, it's 8:00.
It's dark. What am I doing here?
It happens.
Yeah.
But folks, get ready with. Please make plans to attend the Dragonfly Festival here in September. We didn't get a chance to talk so much about cranes and cocoa. We'll talk about that more next time. But that'll be right on the heels of Dragonfly Festival, Thanksgiving time.
Thanksgiving time.
So. But this time of year. If you want to come out and see the most activity at the lake, come early mornings. Get out there about 6:30 in the morning. You can kind of get a good chance of seeing the animals getting their food on and getting life together, living their lives here in the morning before they hunker down in the harder part of the day here. So. And then, of course, if you can't do mornings, maybe do a dusk time. Come around 7 o'clock or so and start seeing some of the nocturnal animals and things.
It's light until about 8 o'clock now.
Yeah, it is pretty late.
Somewhere around there.
So yeah, you get out there about 7 or so. You can maybe have a little snack or something, and walk around and see things.
Don't throw your trash away.
Just what you bring in, you take out with you.
Yeah, that's right. Pack it in, pack it out,
or more, or bring some you see with you on the way out.
That's right.
So. Well, thank you guys. Appreciate it. We'll see you next month, okay?
Thank you, Mike.
Anytime. All right, it is 8:58. Let's take a quick break before we get you in the news. Don't go away. You're listening to Mornings with Mike Winters.
Make your home a smart home with smart home Wi-Fi from Plateau. Now you can connect more devices to fast, reliable Wi-Fi throughout your home. That means faster speeds with no downtime or lag. Enhance your connection, expand your reach, and experience whole home device control and protection with Plateau. Plateau offers true fiber with options starting as low as $60 a month, all with no caps and no hidden fees. Call today 575-755-1000 or stop by 1001 South Main in Roswell. Get smart home Wi-Fi today from Plateau. Tried, true, trusted.
Roswell Skin Center and Dr. Cometti are here to provide what you need for cosmetic dermatology, offering facials, peels, Botox, filler, and laser. Dr. Cometti at Roswell Skin Center invites you to become a VIP member. Receive $50 off your first treatment. Sign up for rewards at roswellskin.com.
Here's a Mornings with Mike Winters fun fact. Turtles can breathe through their butts. We imagine you know some people who do that too, because that's where their heads reside. Here's Mike Winters. The great one, Mark Levin, is now in Roswell on 106.5 KEND Roswell.
News this hour from townhall.com. I'm Rich Thomason. A Second Amendment victory at the U.S. Supreme Court. In a 6-3 ruling, the justices have found that a New York law restricting the ability of a law-abiding citizen to obtain a concealed carry license violates the Constitution. The New York law required concealed carry applicants to provide a compelling reason for needing the permit. A soft landing for the beleaguered economy. Fed chairman says it would be very challenging. Jerome Powell not ruling out a recession, even though the central bank is trying to prevent one.
In recent days, President Biden and his administration have emphasized that a recession is not inevitable. The Fed chairman took a similar message to Capitol Hill, where he faced skeptical lawmakers. Powell acknowledged that a recession is possible as the Fed pushes interest rates higher. But he said the goal is to achieve a soft landing, a reduction in inflation and a slowdown in growth without triggering a recession and high unemployment. Greg Clugston, the White House.
President Biden asking Congress to approve a 3-month federal gas tax holiday, but Moody's Analytics chief economist Mark Zandi says it would have only a modest impact on prices at the pump.
The gas tax is really on the margin. I mean, it's small, a little over 18 cents per gallon. Remember, gasoline is now selling for $5 a gallon. And the other thing to consider is that some of that cut in tax will probably be captured by the gas company, the gasoline company. They're not going to pass all of that through to their customers.
AAA's national average for a gallon of regular is a bit lower this morning, stands at $4.94 a gallon. The Uvalde, Texas School District Police Chief has been placed on administrative leave. This as an investigation of the school massacre continues. Wall Street, the Dow's up 167, the NASDAQ 146 points higher. More on these stories at townhall.com.
First, we decide where we want to go. Then we need to know the best way to get there. Hi, my name is Adam Barada. I'm the owner of Advantage Gold. We're the highest rated precious metals firm in the country. We teach people how to own physical gold and silver. Now, we've won the Best of TrustLink Award 4 years in a row because we educate our clients on how to buy gold and silver the right way. We don't pay celebrity spokespeople millions of dollars. We'd rather pass that value on to you. Call 800-900-8000 and speak with one of our experts. We'll send you a free gold kit along with my latest #1 national best-selling book, The Great Devaluation. Call 800-900-8000. That's 800-900-8000. Get the best information, the best process, the best service, the best value. Call Advantage Gold at 800-900-8000. Call 800-900-8000.
Russia now focusing its firepower on 2 villages in eastern Ukraine.
Britain and Ukrainian military officials say Russia has expanded its grab of territory in the east, capturing 2 villages and vying for control of a key highway in an offensive that could cut supply lines and encircle some frontline Ukrainian forces. In addition, Russian forces are trying to capture areas outside Severodonetsk, the administrative centre of the Luhansk region. Now, Ukrainian forces have withdrawn from some of the areas near the city of Lysychansk to avoid the possibility of being encircled. I'm Charles de Ledesma.
A man wounded 4 people in a stabbing spree in Auckland, New Zealand. He was stopped by bystanders who wrestled him to the ground. Police say the attack was random. The suspect is in police custody. Breaking news and analysis at townhall.com. Republicans have a chance to flip a couple of congressional seats in Virginia.
Virginia voters have picked a state senator and a law enforcement official as the Republican nominees for what could be 2 of the country's most competitive U.S. House races. Jen Kiggins defeated 3 challengers to win the nomination in Virginia's coastal 2nd District and will take on U.S. Congresswoman Elaine Luria. And Yesli Vega, an auxiliary deputy and county-level elected official, prevailed in a crowded field in the Central Virginia 7th District. Vega will face Congresswoman Abigail Spanberger in the general election, where Republicans are bullish about their chances of flipping the seats currently held by the 2 centrist Democrats. Keith Peters reporting.
And recapping the hour's top story, the Supreme Court, in a 6-3 vote, has struck down a restrictive New York gun law, a major ruling upholding the Second Amendment. More on these stories at townhall.com.
What in the wide world of sports is going on here?
I promise you, whatever scum did this, not one man in this force will rest for 1 minute until he's behind bars. Now let's grab a bite to eat. Yeah, come on.
I feel the hot wind on my shoulder and the touch of a world that is older. I hit the switch and check the number. I leave it on and then I slumber. I hear the rhythm ringing through it. Flamenco guitar and cumbia music. I hear the talking of the DJ. The travel listen, what does he say? I'm on a Mexican radio. I'm on a Mexican radio.
Broadcasting live from high atop the J.P. White Building in downtown Roswell, New Mexico. It's Mornings with Mike Winters on 106.5 Roswell's Talk FM.
Is that what I sound like when I talk?
Now, here's your host, Mike Winters.
And good morning. It is 6 minutes after 9 o'clock. Welcome to hour number 3.
Tres inviernos.
Mornings with Mike Winters, right here on 106.5 Roswell's Talk FM. Happy Thursday.
Yep.
Yeah, welcome to it. Sean is starting day 1 of his vacacion to Las Vegas.
Mm-hmm.
I think he told me they were leaving at 0300.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, so
Early.
So let's see, that's 6 hours. They should be a good hunk. I'd say about maybe halfway there, assuming, I don't know how they're driving. But
yeah, they could be stopping.
What's that, about 10 hours? You drove nonstop from here to Vegas? About 10 hours maybe?
Yeah.
Yes, I'm guesstimating. I'm not sure. I'm just spitballing. But, so I'm guessing he's, depending on how they travel, maybe halfway there, maybe. Somewhere in the midst of Arizona somewhere, I'm reckoning. But let's say, although the way I understand it, they were trying to book it. So they wanted to get in Vegas as quick as possible, it was my understanding. But anyway, it should be, I'm guessing about halfway there.
11 hours.
11 hours. So 6 hours, yeah, that's about right.
Yeah.
Assuming they left at 0300 and didn't accidentally sleep in a little bit or something.
I'm sure they did some stopping.
Well, yeah, you
here
gotta
and there.
Get gas and eat, and there's 3 of them.
Yeah.
And I think they're all adult. So I know 2 are. I'm not sure if the daughter is an adult age or not, but so that makes it a little easier if they're adults, or at least of adult capacity, so you don't have to stop to go to the bathroom.
Well, I think everybody's an adult. They're going to Vegas.
Well, that don't mean anything anymore.
I guess.
Vegas they got something for everybody. They got all kinds of stuff for kids. And yeah, granted, there's a lot of places I would not take my kids to in Vegas, but there are things for kids to do in Vegas. So it's not as faux pas as it used to be. Like if you'd have done it in the 90s, I'd have been, what a savage. What kind of savage takes a kid to Vegas? Now it's not as bad. But anyway, they're off doing that, having a good time here. By the way, my wife's on the way. I got a text a few minutes ago. So if you get a phone call, she wants to be let in. Okay. Just to let you know. Here's what we have on tap for this hour of the show. We'll get you up to date with the weather here in just a bit. And then around 9:15 or so, we're going to replay our interview. Elliot Rodriguez with Lone Depot joined us. Was it Monday? I think he was in.
Yeah.
I think it was Monday.
I wasn't here.
Yeah, maybe Monday. But Elliot joined us, and I'm telling you, it's a great conversation because we live in a world where, hold on, I just got a text. You might have to go downstairs. Hold on.
It's fine.
Let me see here. I am here. Yes,
okay.
Could someone please let me in? So Tanner's on the way down.
Here I come.
But anyway, we had a great conversation with Elliot talking about, obviously with the interest rates, the Fed just increasing those, the world in which we live in. It's not so much the getting the deals on interest rates and everything anymore, but he still talks about home buying and if you need a home, buy a home, we can still do all that, and so just because we live in a world where it's not quite as cheap to get a house now, that doesn't mean you shouldn't be pursuing, depending on your situation, obviously. If you're still paying rent, you're still going to be paying rent, just probably more of it. Might as well be putting that towards you. But anyway, we have a great conversation with Elliot. We'll play that for you here in just a few minutes. Also, we'll get you up to date with the news of the local variety, along with your Wall Street Town Hall business update and whatever else we can come up with for this hour of the show. Before we do any of that, though, let's go ahead and get you up to date on the weather.
I'm meteorologist Steve Hamilton with your Pecos Valley weather. That monsoon moisture moving off to the west. Just for today, we'll be in the mid-90s and lots of sunshine. Overnight, a few clouds and upper 60s, and then maybe an afternoon shower or thunderstorm on Friday. Pretty hot with our high in the upper 90s, and then scattered showers and thunderstorms in the afternoon on Saturday, upper 90s, maybe a late-day storm again on Sunday, low 90s. That's your latest forecast. I'm meteorologist Steve Hamilton.
Thank you, Steve. Currently, sorry, I was doing something else and didn't bring up my weather here. Currently, 80 degrees here in Roswell. Yep, at 11 minutes after 9 o'clock in the morning. Already a lovely 80. Humidity is at 49%. Winds are variable at 6 miles per hour. Sunny today, high of 96. Winds will be out of the south, 10 to 15 miles per hour. Partly cloudy tonight, looking at an overnight low of 69 degrees. Winds will be out of the west, 5 to 15 miles per hour. Friday, sunny, hot, highs right around the century mark, 99 officially. Winds will be out of the south, 5 to 10 miles per hour. Friday night, partly cloudy with an overnight low of 68 degrees. Southwest winds 5 to 15 miles per hour. And then, beginning Saturday, the rain chances back in the forecast. The monsoon-like weather back with us. 30% chance of showers for Saturday afternoon. Sunny otherwise and hot with a high of 97. Winds out of the west 5 to 15 miles per hour. 30% chance of rain for Saturday night as well. Partly cloudy, overnight low of 70. For Sunday, our chance of rain bumps up to 40%. Temperatures also drop a little bit, quite a bit actually. We're looking at a 40% chance of rain for Sunday, and they're talking all day, it looks like, morning, afternoon. And then they do say some of these storms could produce some heavy rainfall, so there might be a couple doozies in there. Mostly sunny, high of 88 on Sunday. 40% chance of rain for Sunday night as well. Once again, some of those storms could produce some heavy rainfall, mostly cloudy otherwise, with an overnight low of 66. And then the rain chances continue next week when you head back to work. 40% chance of rain Monday. Sunny and 90, 30% on Monday night, 30% on Tuesday with a high of 90, and a 20% on Wednesday with a high of 92. So after these next 2 days here, monsoon-like temperatures and weather and all that back in the forecast there. All right, it is 13 minutes after 9 o'clock. We're going to take a quick commercial break. And then on the other side of the break, our interview we had with Elliot Rodriguez from Loan Depot on the other side. Don't go away. You're listening to Mornings with Mike Winters.
Your home is your sanctuary, and the land it's built on is even more precious. So when termites start devouring your house, you want a proven treatment that's environmentally responsible. You want the Centricon Termite Colony Elimination System. The Centricon system is the green way to protect homes from subterranean termites. Rather than surrounding your house with hundreds of gallons of diluted chemical solution, the Centricon system strategically uses just a few grams of active ingredient in termite bait, working with natural termite behavior to destroy termite colonies. With this technology, it's no wonder the Centricon system became the only termite treatment to receive the Presidential Green Chemistry Challenge Award from the U.S. Environmental Protection Agency. And homeowners rate the Centricon system as the most environmentally sound termite treatment. Your home is your sanctuary, so monitor, bait, and eliminate termites with the Centricon system. Think of it as your own little piece on Earth.
Call Bob Reed Pest Control today for all of Southeast New Mexico. 575-623-5344.
The blowout is on. The Honda Summer Blowout is on now at Roswell Honda with an explosive selection of sparkling new rides to choose from, like a 2017 Honda Accord for just $389 a month, a 2019 Ford EcoSport for just $349 a month, or a 2015 Chrysler 200 for just $249 a month. Get a Home Depot gift card and a Caribbean getaway just for stopping by, a VR headset with a test drive, and an Amy's Fireworks bundle with purchase. And register to win a $500 Amy's Fireworks bundle to be given away June 25th at 1 p.m. The Blowout is on at Roswell Honda, 2177 West 2nd.
Every trial, every heartache, every letdown, you're raising it up for my good.
Country Club Road Church of Christ would like to invite you out to a free concert June 25th at 7 p.m. Come out and enjoy the beautiful music from Lubbock Christian University's very own group, Best Friends.
Let me tell you about my Jesus. His love is strong and his grace is free.
Hear songs from their latest album, Solid Rock. It's a fun, free night of music and worship you won't want to miss. All ages are welcome.
Did he move every mountain? Did he part every sea? Yes, he did.
That's Saturday, June 25th, 7 p.m. at Country Club Road Church of Christ, 700 West Country Club Road in Roswell.
The truth be told, the truth is really told.
Hear more of the music from Best Friends on iTunes.
I say I'm fine, yeah, I'm fine, oh, I'm fine.
This lot is hot. The Summer of Savings is on all month long at Roswell Nissan with scorching savings on a fresh lineup of amazing vehicles like a 2018 Nissan Altima for just $319 a month, a 2015 GMC Terrain for just $269 a month, or a 2016 Jeep Cherokee for just $209 a month. Zero down, no payments till August, and top dollar for your trade. And bring in your mailer for the chance to play Lucky Lotto and win cash. The Summer of Savings on now at Roswell Nissan, 2111 West 2nd, or shop online 24/7 at roswellnissan.com. Sometimes when you hit the road hits back. That's why MTA Mechanics and Tire carries major brands like Bridgestone, Cooper, and Michelin. Not only do you get top brand tires, but you also get a nationwide warranty. So wherever you are, MTA Mechanics and Tire has you covered. Stop by or let MTA come to you with their MTA Mobile Tire Shop, covering Roswell, Carlsbad, and Artesia. They can come to your home, office, or even the airport, and alignment is included on all sets of 4 tires. MTA Mechanics and Tires, getting you back on the road.
Here's a Mornings with Mike Winters fun fact. Alaska is the only state name that can be typed on one row of keys. Go ahead and try typing the other 49 states. We'll wait. Here's Mike Winters.
Joining us in studio this morning from Loan Depot, Elliot Rodriguez back with us. Morning.
Good morning. Good morning, Roswell.
How are you today?
Doing great.
Good deal.
It's a nice little weekend. We got a little water on there.
It was nice. Got a little moisture here, and got good chances today and tomorrow. So, knock on wood there. Hopefully, we get some fruits from that
we'll
later.
We'll definitely take this home.
Yeah, we'll take all the moisture we need at all. So,
it's like we get teased all the time. It just comes through and go.
That's right.
It doesn't want to come down.
Well, we got a little yesterday. Hopefully, we got some more coming.
Yes.
So we'll see. Of course, now's an interesting time to buy a house, isn't it? It's kind of with inflation and, of course, the Feds with the interest rate last week and what they're doing to try to curb inflation.
Correct.
What's if you're looking for is it still an okay time to be shopping, or you're like, you know what, can you hunker down for a little bit, or what's kind of the mindset right now for people looking to buying whether it's their first home or their fifth home,
Well, in my opinion, you still have to live somewhere.
Sure.
Okay. As far as what the Feds did, which is what you and I were talking about, last month.
Yeah,
I mean,
we knew it was coming.
Yeah, about basis points.
It's a matter
like
of
that.
time. Yeah.
Well, the thing is this: you cannot just let's make it very simple. You cannot just push it so hard, and so high, like we were at 6.5. Okay, and a lot of people don't understand, and that's what we were talking about, basis points. Okay, I mean, how much it costs them doing, a loan and so on, buying points and getting a better interest rate, all that kind of stuff. So if you look at it this way, it's very straightforward, and this is the best way I can explain it for the folks out there so they understand what's happening.
Sure.
Okay. So what we were talking about is that the market was, so resilient, and it's not stopping it. It's going to continue, and everything keeps going up and keeps going up, and everybody keeps talking about the rates going up. Well, the rates never truly went up in the stand of the interest rate itself. It was the cost.
It was just supply and demand was driving up that cost.
So the cost is making it up. So in layman's terms, it's simple. So let's say we go back 3 years ago. Okay, if you were doing 3.5%, 4.5%, 4%, something lower, okay, you maybe were buying some points and it wasn't costing as much.
Gotcha.
Okay, so for example, like a $200,000 home, maybe it cost you $1,500 or so, extra to keep it under the 4% or so. Okay, that's the best way I can explain it.
Gotcha.
Now, if we were right now, you couldn't do that. Period. First of all, because the Feds control how much a person can buy in points.
Right.
That controls the people that are rich out there, so they can, they don't get to do whatever the heck they want to.
Sure.
Okay. Second, it protects you as a consumer, so the lenders don't just charge you whatever we want.
It does try to level the playing
field. It levels the plane.
To keep basically the little guy in the game if he wants.
So if you move that from then forward to now, instead of being 3.5 or 4%, okay, we were at 6.5. The bad part of everything keeps going up, and the Feds and everybody didn't want to release the ceiling and go higher,
right?
So it costs less. All right, so what was happening is maybe a 6.5 or even 5.5 or whatever the situation will be, depending on the product, on whatever you are doing as a consumer. It was costing not just like $1,500; it was costing like $6,000 depending on the loan.
Gotcha.
Okay, and the amount of the loan and so on. So what does that mean? Well, the higher it keeps going, it's still the highest interest rate you're going to get, but you can go higher on interest rate, but you go higher on cost, which that makes it difficult for some folks, because eventually would it come to a point that you cannot do a loan, because if it's going to cost X amount of money to do a loan, like closing cost points and so on.
Sure.
Eventually, you will not be able to buy a house because it's costing you too much, and the Feds will not allow me as a lender charge you too much, because then the loan don't work.
Sure.
So
you're basically paying something for something that's way over what the actual value of what that product is.
Exactly. So basically, what they have to do eventually, that we were talking about basis points, getting a better deal, buying points down, they have to release the ceiling so the costs become lower.
Gotcha.
So according to their statistics, they're supposed to have gave the country a 2% breathing room as far as like costs and so on, but we'll see how that goes.
Sure.
The rates were going up and down, and last week we actually went down a lot. There were days that more than 50 basis points in the positive for us as consumers. Okay. But they already raised it to 7.5 maximum. I mean, actually 7%. I'm sorry,
gotcha.
7% ceiling as far as interest rate. Okay, so the individuals, depending on the products, depending on if it's the first time, depending if it's conventional FHA or VA, depending on what the program is, it's going to determine what the interest rate you are and how much you're going to really pay for it. And there's some breaks here and there. So It made it better for the consumer to be able to obtain homes and not so difficult and lose the room, to be able to be able to acquire a house.
Sure. But really, when you look at it now, so if you're one that's looking to buy a home now, it's probably behoove you to look into those programs we talk about. If you're a veteran, if you're a teacher, if
you need to take advantage of
first responder or something like that, you're really going to find a bigger benefit in those programs right now than you would, when the interest rates were sitting at like 4%.
I know, you and I were talking all the time about like, take advantage of this, buy a house now.
Yeah.
That has not changed. If you're going to buy a house, if you're ready.
Because those things can take away things like your down payment.
Exactly.
Or what the actual percentage, like it'll cap what they can put a percentage rate on. Or, like you said, the big one is no down payment, especially for some of those VA loans. Because atypically, your first home and everything, they're going to want at least 10% down. And that might be higher than that.
Depending.
Of the cost of that house. So if you buy a $100,000 house, you got to walk in there with a check for $10,000.
Well, we were
at closing.
We were worried about that. Because if they were not going to release the city, in other words, truly raise the interest rate, so the points to be able to buy a house cost less.
Sure.
Okay. We were starting to think, where are we going with this? We're going to start like, we're not going to be able to. We're going to have to try to help some people, give them some kind of lender credit, and eventually wouldn't be able to, because it would cost way too much to be able to, purchase that home. And I was waiting for that because, we talk about this all this time. I had a 90.5 interest rate. I talked to some folks, and they
and back in the day, you were like, "That was amazing. I love that rate."
That was still nice. I talked to some folks that are like, "Oh, I had a 15, percent interest rate on my house. You still had it nice. It's like, I did."
Well, and I got to be honest. Now I'm sitting in a situation where, like, because I refied a couple years ago, back when, and I think I'm at like 3.9 or something like that right now. And now you look at where is it 7 or whatever it's at right now?
7 is the highest.
7 is the highest. So you could get a little better than that, but still, that's probably average person's probably paying 6 to 5.5, 6 right now.
There may be some lenders out there that can maybe go higher than that, but that's all kinds of different loans and all kinds of different lending.
Just depending
on what they doing, because but by the feds and just going by the normal rules that we're supposed to go by. Yes.
So from my perspective, my house payment is actually paying for my house right now, and we're
I guess you could look at it that way.
Because I have a much lower percentage rate of it going towards interest.
That is true.
It's going towards the principal of the house, and obviously, and we've talked about this before about ways to pay down the loan faster and all that. It's all great stuff that you can do because in essence you're building collateral and equity into yourself by doing that. And to be honest, once you get your first home in and we're talking these percentage rates and things, now that down payment and all that, it turns out you're building equity on this, whatever house this is. So the idea is when you're ready to move on to your next house, you've got 10, 20, 30, 50 grand, maybe more in equity into this house. In essence, that's your down payment on your next house. And more, hopefully, depending on how much equity you got there. But in essence, that's why it's a lot easier once you're in the game to get that next house or or basically like we talk about and Elliot mentions here every time. You're a first-time home buyer, first house. You ain't buying Taj Mahal the first house out.
You may get lucky a little closer.
Yeah, that's just not going to happen. Your first home. And generally speaking, we're younger at a different phase in our life. We got the world in front of us. You're ready to maybe put a little sweat equity into that. So the first house you buy might, it's not going to be your dream home. It's going to meet the needs of you and your spouse, maybe the first child. So you've got a 2-bedroom or 3-bedroom that's kind of small, older, probably had to do a little bit upkeep and things like that. But at some point you outgrow that, or you're like, you know what, I want something that's got a little bit more modern stylings and things like that. And so then you upgrade to the next one, and that's really how homeownership works in America for most people.
And if you think about it, let's be realistic in what's happening right now. Rent is to the roof, okay. And guys, that's not stopping.
You're paying for someone else's retirement by doing
and that's
that.
not stopping.
Yeah.
You know, it's just going to continue going up.
Sure.
Because the demand is there, you know, and there's not enough, inventory in the market. Let's be realistic.
Well, and this is part where we get back to that other thing, and this is where Elliot really helps families, especially first-time buyers, is this is why we need you to be proactive and smart with your finances, because no matter how much money you make or how much money you don't make, if you are smart with that money,
you can do anything.
You can do anything. And I'm talking, how many instances where you have people that literally work what we call the menial, the bare minimum wage jobs.
Yeah.
They work 40-hour weeks.
In McDonald's, Burger King, you name it. There's nothing wrong with those places.
If you are smart with that money, you can
do
still
anything.
buy your house and everything else. Now, obviously, you might have to be a little bit more extreme with your,
how you spend your money.
But it's absolutely there if you're disciplined enough or have the, and that's all about setting goals. And so if you set that goal, it's like, I want this house. All right, how do I do it at my current spot? And Ellie can really sit down with you and go over those numbers and say, this is how this is what it's going to take to get in that house. And now more than ever, you really need to mind. When interest rates are 4%, that gives you a lot more wiggle room to do that. But now that we're talking 6-7% interest rates here, that's your mortgage is going to be a couple $100 more a month. It's just going to be.
And believe it or not, sometimes it's not as bad. Okay.
Yeah.
So I mean, you have to think outside the box a little, be a little more smart than the average person that don't even give no thought to really figure out, like, should I buy a house or not?
Right.
I mean, I talked to how many people I come across that they're buying their first home and they've been renting for like 20, 30 years and they now decided to buy a home.
Thing, if you get to the process, you're probably going to find out it's cheaper.
Yeah.
Because in essence, when you rent a property, you're paying whatever that guy's mortgage is on top of whatever more they can get for it.
And that's true.
And so, let's face it, if you're paying $1,200 a month in rental in a lease, that guy's probably paying $800-900 a month on a mortgage on that.
If not
house.
less.
Yeah.
You never know.
And so, why give him that extra $300 a month where you could just buy a house just like it and you're paying $800 a month mortgage instead of $1,200 lease? Oh, by the way, that $800 mortgage is going back into you building collateral. Where's that lease going? Into the other guy's pocket.
Yeah,
you got a roof over your head, but you're investing in his future, not your own.
It's time to start investing in ourselves.
Exactly.
Okay? I mean, on yourself and your family.
Yeah.
Because let's be realistic, and they say the only thing, for sure in life, is debt and taxes.
Yeah.
Okay. I think sometimes they need to kind of change that phrase to debt and taxes, bills, and some things because they don't stop; they keep coming.
Sure.
But the fact is still the same. Don't be afraid of buying a house, okay? Because the rates have gone up. That doesn't mean nothing because if your lender is smart, okay, and I have to say it like that because sometimes I question some of my peers. But anyway, if you think outside the box, okay, and you allow that individual to, and they do a good job, figure it out, okay, to push you in a real good spot, it don't matter what the interest rates are right now because let's be realistic. You'll refinance later, okay? Bring it down. Don't stop yourself because of the interest rate are higher and you're going to pay an extra $50 or $100 more than what you maybe wanted to before.
Sure.
Eventually, the market's going to go down a little and change the numbers, and we will be, refinancing again. I mean, if I just tell everybody out there, go and do a search in Google and see, and go 30 years or even farther if you want to.
Sure.
And just check for interest rates on home. See what the trend was from all the way there to today.
Sure.
Okay. If you don't want to go crazy, try to figure out a bunch of stuff. That's the easiest thing you can ever do.
Well, things are reciprocal.
Exactly.
What goes around comes around.
Exactly. So my point is, when I used to talk about my interest rate being 9.5 for my home in Colorado Springs, 15 years, 12 years ago plus, okay?
And you're bragging on it.
And I'm bragging on it right now. I was like happy. I got a real nice home. Then I took, because I was not 100% in the business just yet. I started then,
Sure.
So
you knew enough to be a little dangerous.
Yeah,
at that
I was
point.
dangerous. I was able to buy a rental. I do this and that, and I wasn't putting too much mind into like how much interest rate.
Sure.
If I
Plus, you were younger and more
aggressive.
Aggressive, absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So if you guys do it, if you do yourself one favor, is go and check, see what the history or interest rate on homes were from, I don't know, go 15, 20, 30 years, and you see what I'm talking about. You know, when people talk to me and tell me 15 and higher, it's like, what? I was like, I thought I had it higher, but I never took a moment to go and check.
Sure.
You know, so, but after I did, it's like, wow. So all we're doing right now, literally, okay, is setting up a new trend for years to come. Okay. I was never 100% like super, you know, concentrated into like refis. You know, I just do refis as it comes, as the opportunity comes to help people.
Sure.
And depending on the situation. I know a lot of lenders were like, you know, aggressive as crazy when the rates were real low, okay? Because, you know, it was all about the bottom line, you know?
Sure.
But what happened to be able to do that, it was that the rates were a little higher before. So now was the chance to help people. Guess what's happening? All we're going to do is set up a trend for maybe 1 or 2 or 3 years from now, okay, for refis.
Yeah.
All over again, okay?
Yeah, because when the economy gets better and things, the interest rate will come back down. And those people paying 7% can now get it for
6.5 or 5, whatever it might be.
Yeah, can now get it a point or more lower.
I always
down the road,
I always recommend at least 1 point.
Yeah.
Okay. If you're doing half a point, it needs to make sense because remember, we have to give a benefit to the individual to be able to refinance. Now, if you got divorced, unfortunately, or you sold a few properties,
a life thing happened.
Or a life thing happened, and you need to change some stuff or take some equity out, whatever, because you need to fix. That's different, But there has to be a benefit for the individual for us to be able to do a loan, But it's coming.
Yeah.
So we're just gonna set a trend for the next 6 months, a year or two, depending on how they.
So really, if you find the house that you love right now,
don't be afraid.
Buy it, pull the trigger on it. And then maybe here in 2 years, you might want to come back to Elliot and say, hey, interest rates are down. Let's refi and save you a few $100 a month on this thing. And now you're putting more equity back into your home.
Now, depending on circumstances, because I've done this a lot, we always thinking maybe $100 or $200. So I seen the situations when the PMI is gone, and you didn't pay that much PMI. It's just the house is worth so much more money now after 1, 2 years or so.
Sure.
So exactly. The same is still happening right now. People still refinancing, okay? Because now they have enough equity.
Yeah.
Okay. Now they can get rid of the PMI, all right? And for all those folks out there that don't know what PMI is, that's private mortgage insurance that the lenders have in your home if your home doesn't have low. Actually, let me rephrase this so everybody understands it better. If you bought a home and you didn't put 20% down on it, okay, and you didn't do a conventional loan, you probably are paying PMI.
Okay.
If your home is worth, okay, more than what you purchased it before, and your balance on the loan is a little less, and you just have to be just 0.001 less than 80% of what the home is value, okay, you can get rid of your PMI. Okay?
Gotcha.
Even that sometimes, even at this interest rate right now, it's a good reason to even refinance if you wanted to. Okay. But if it's not worth it, obviously we don't need to do it. But the point still stands. You have the power to do that when you get to those points.
Sure.
And then figure it out later, and put you in a better position. I say people $400 and $500, sometimes even more, monthly.
Sure.
I mean, that's just crazy,
And that's where you like to really shine and sit with the customers because if someone comes in with you and said, hey, I want to refi today, Elliot's going to look through your stuff and he'll be honest with you. If he's looking at the numbers, I got to be honest. This is not the smart move for you right now.
Yeah, we maybe have to wait. You know what I mean, maybe wait another year or 6 months.
Rather than get your business on something you really don't need, he's going to be honest and say, let's do this, and then come see me in 6 months, and then we'll talk about it, or whatever it is. But that's where Elliot, but if you're going in saying, I want to refi, he's going to run the numbers and be like, you know what? Smart move, dude. This is the time to do it in your situation.
Yeah, because it doesn't matter what's happening. My sister called me the other day. So she's in Florida. Everybody wants to go to Florida. I think everybody forget that it's very humid and have a lot of bugs over there. So they forget about that.
They like the freedoms to do what they want, I guess. So they'll pay for a little humidity.
So she was asking me, when's the best time? What do you think about the raves happening in Florida? My answer was, well, first of all, I don't know much about Florida because I don't live there.
I know it's hot.
But I can go and do the the search and give you some kind of somewhat educated answer for that.
Sure.
And she was asking me when's the best time to buy. I tell her, well, you should have bought a house a long time ago. Okay.
About 4 years ago.
I mean, through me or through whoever, I don't
Sure.
care. The point is, you should buy a house. If you have the ability to buy a home and own your own house, and you're renting, and you're afraid of taking
you're handcuffing yourself.
You're just holding yourself back.
Sure.
You shouldn't. Okay. Buy a house. Be part.
Yeah.
This is the way I look at it. Be part of what makes this country move forward.
Sure.
Okay. And I'm not saying the people that rent out there are not doing that. What I'm saying is, but make it to be part of something that is benefiting you 100%.
Every time you rent, you're investing in someone else's dream.
And that's a fact.
And
I used to rent houses out.
Yeah, start investing in your own dream and take that money you're paying for rent and let's convert it into a mortgage, and you're buying and investing into your own self and your family.
Exactly.
And that's, at the end of the day, that's the American dream, and that's how we all end up, getting our piece of the pie. And it starts with home ownership. That's
Exactly.
just in the United States of America. That is the
dream,
the springboard to success.
And if you want to put a white picket fence and get yourself a dog, there you go.
Absolutely.
So the answer to my sister is the time to buy a home is right now.
Yeah.
Okay. There's a lot of trends out there that you can check. When is the best time to buy a home? Like when they talk about in the spring, the summer. But it depends. Okay?
Sure.
Every situation is totally different.
You if you can afford less home than you really want right now, that's okay. Just be smart. Because at the end of the day, if you just pick a home that's going to guarantee to increase in value, then you're okay.
Correct.
The only problem, and 9 times out of 10 you're okay. I mean, there's always a few lemon houses out there
that's why you should do an inspection.
And that's where you got to, that's when you choose a real estate agent that's going to look out for you and all that stuff. That's that world.
Yeah, I always tell my customers, nothing against the folks out there selling their own homes and all that kind of stuff. I done it myself.
Yeah.
But I'm a little different. I mean, I've been doing this for 25 years for myself, and I've been in real estate for that long.
Yeah.
When I was not licensed, when I was doing it on my own, I mean, I learned the hard way.
Sure.
I went and put into it, and some people even back then was like, "Hey, Elliot, should we do this? Should we do that?" It's like, don't do that. I don't even know how I was reading it, but I was reading it right.
Sure.
Because my old boss, hey, let's do this. I got a guy that invests. You could do a second, this and that. And what they forgot to tell their the people was that it was the wrong investment at that time.
Sure.
I saw it like it was a big
just made sense
sign
to
that
you,
that don't make sense. Making a $2,000 or $3,000 or $5,000 extra profit to put yourself in a bad position.
It sounded
not
too good
worth
to be
it.
true.
Exactly, and I didn't do it.
And that's the true in anything in life, is it real estate or anything else. If it sounds too good to be true,
you have to be careful.
It probably is. Do your homework, do your research. If there's it's just, in real estate, just like anything else. If you look at a property or something and it's valued way under what it should be in your head, why? There's a reason.
And dude, that was before.
Are you willing to accept that?
That was before I even got into mortgage.
Yeah.
That was before I was even a banker.
Yeah.
Okay. And I saw those things and I read it like it was a big, one of those billboards. It's like, yes, but you shouldn't do it because of this.
Yeah.
And I don't know.
And that's usually
funny.
that difference between taking a loss on a house and breaking even or earning a collateral.
Oh, they had to do some short sales, dude.
Yeah.
Oh, it was ugly.
Yeah.
And my wife always remind me about that. Like, you were so smart about doing that. It's like, I didn't know what the heck. I just didn't like it.
And this is kind of like back, 10 years ago with these adjustable rate mortgages and the trouble people got in those things. It's all about, the move may work today, but you got to think of a couple moves ahead there. And generally, most instances when you're talking about buying and selling real estate, you never look at it as this is the end. You know what I mean? I mean, if you're like, this is my last house I'm ever going to own and all that, one thing, but if you're in your 20s, 30s, 40s, probably even 50s.
You know how many times I say that, dude? I just bought another house afterwards.
Exactly. So, maybe the last one until something else comes across. But my point is, if you keep making the smart plays by not buying things that aren't right in your head, and that's what it is. If you're like, because in the real estate world we fall in love with one aspect of the home, and then we're like, Yeah, but it's got that cool fireplace. Yeah, but it's got this, and this, and we're going to spend so much money fixing this. You know what? Maybe we need to sacrifice and get a more stout house and that doesn't have as cool fireplace as we want. But I mean, we as humans tend to do that.
Yeah.
And you get and don't chase those dreams, because if you chase them, it's going to bite you in the tail, and that's what happens in real estate.
Let me share something, and folks that are listening out there, okay? When you see that house that you won, I mean, that's cool, okay? If your lender, me or whoever, I don't care who it is, okay, telling you you're not ready, I need you to do this, don't rush.
Right.
Okay? You need to do a few extra steps. But the house that I wanted, is like, I get it, okay? The fact is, there's another house even better than that down the corner.
Yeah.
Don't do that to yourself, all right? First of all, you're going to drive your real estate agent crazy, all right? Because these people are going to be showing you 20 million houses.
Sure.
And you're going to be, but I want that one. And but you can't, okay?
Yeah.
Don't do that to yourself.
Yeah.
All right?
There's always more.
I always say that you're not buying a Taj Mahal and that there's no such a thing as the perfect home. Yes, when you look at it, you're hoping that that's the perfect home. You're going to make it a perfect home later.
Yeah, you're going to put your
own personal touch
your
into
stamp
it.
on it. Yeah.
And don't do that to yourself. If a home that you were so set into your mind to buy, there might be another one on the next street or whatever.
Sure.
Don't do that to yourself, because if you can't buy it, don't be upset with yourself and just take a breather. Take
Absolutely.
a second. Because you may end up finding yourself that you made a better decision by going to the next home.
Sure.
And it happens. Okay. But if your lender's telling you you're not ready, you need to do this first before you do that. Don't do an offer on a home if you're not pre-approved.
Right.
For God's sake, don't do that.
Because you're setting yourself up for failure.
You're
you're making promises your butt can't cash.
I mean, let me put it like this. Let me knock on wood, because I've been making some magic for some people that done that. It makes it more stressful for the real estate and even for yourself.
Sure.
Okay. Because now you're under contract, and now the lender has to, what is that? Pull a Jordan and just make a dump.
Sure.
Like make the 3 points.
But you also handcuff yourself on maybe taking advantage of some opportunities and things, because now you've just limited the options to this.
Exactly.
And your agent or your mortgage broker could easily said, yeah, that's one way to do it, or we could have done this, and I could have saved you about $10,000.
Exactly. You just hit it on you just hit it on the nail on the spot. And let me tell you something. I had a few deals. Okay, talk to your lender when you're going to make an offer on a home before you make an offer without asking. It's a good idea. I recommend it 100%. Okay, because you want to put yourself in a good position. Because you could buy a house doesn't mean you just go blind and just don't think about what offer you're making.
Sure.
Calculate the numbers real good so it'll help you in the end. Okay?
Absolutely.
Trust me, that seller wants to sell the house. That's the whole point they put it on the market.
Yeah.
If you go and make the right offer, okay, and make a good negotiation that makes sense for everybody,
sure,
okay, and you guys are good to each other, you're gonna, hit a home run every single time.
Absolutely. And your smart financial savviness, like you being good with your money and being, I'm not saying frugal, but frugal to a point, being, we can spend our money and we live our life and have fun. But if you're smart with your money, it turns out you're going to be in the driver's seat in every one of these conversations. This is like, you see those jokes on TV when someone walks into like a mortgage place or a car dealership and they get an 800 credit score and they kick back on the chairs and take a plant and all that kind of, I mean, it's not to that extreme. But when your financial your affairs are in order, you walk into the room, you lead the conversation because you're coveted, you're in desire, and you can walk at a moment's notice and get what you want because you have proven to the world that you know what you're doing. And you don't have to say one word, but your credit score and the fact that they open your portfolio and say this person has got their ducks in a row, instantly they're like, okay, we can't. The huckster talk goes away. You know what I mean? It's like you can't, they're thinking, oh, well, this person got bad credit. I can get a couple grand out of them here. You know what I mean? And that all goes away because they're saying this person is on top of their game. And that's where Elliot wants to put you, in that part. So when you walk in the room, you're making the calls and you've got the choices and of what's best for your family versus the person trying to sell you the property.
There you go. That's a good point.
Yeah.
I seen this scenario wrong so many times.
Yeah.
You know, I'm approved in such and such. I went, Rocket Mortgage or something like that, whatever. Okay. You know, and I did it, an online thing. They approved me. It's like, do you talk to somebody? Have anybody go through everything? Have you been interviewed? And like, interview about what? I'm getting a job?
Yeah.
Like, buying a house is like getting a job.
Sure.
You kind of get.
You have to prove to the world that you're good for it. Yeah.
I get both sides of the quarter on that. Sometimes people are approved and it seems to be okay.
Sure.
But sometimes they're approved but they're not okay.
Sure.
It means they didn't told them in the story of the application that there are other factors in their life that stops that the outcome of what this is going to take.
Yeah.
Real. Me, I'll look at everything, and even I in interviews, overlook one thing, but I double check everything afterwards. And whoa, hold on a second, that 275 is really now 260 or 250. Hold on, because you didn't tell me these. We overlooked this.
Well, and that's just if you get pre-approved at an X amount of number. That doesn't mean that's your number.
Exactly.
If anything, you should look for houses below that number. That way you got wiggle room. You've got chances to, if like Elliot said, something unexpected comes up that got you some playroom versus you going for your ceiling, and now you have no wiggle room, no room to breathe, and this deal better go perfect or it's going to fall through.
And I get that, guys.
Yeah.
You approve to this much. You know what the funniest thing? Every time somebody, an agent or somebody calls me, all right, so that's the maximum they can get approved? Like, yes, I give them a pre-approval and everything, and they come back with a higher price. I just told you that was the max.
Right.
And they keep pushing and pushing. It's like, and
I get it. You want a cooler house.
I get that,
But you're gonna have to. Let's do this first, and then let's, in a few years, once you're established and got more equity and things, then we'll go for that house. But it's the ladder. It's the chain. It's we start out in the shanty, and then we just keep building up, and then hopefully by the time you're more established in your life, you've got the solid 4-bedroom, nice neighborhood home, and then at some point it starts going the other way because the kids move out and everything else, and you go from the big 4 or 5-bedroom home to like the condo 2-bedroom condo jobber, and that's life generally, how it goes, and that's kind of, and I'm not saying every person's like that, but atypically that's kind of the evolution of home ownership in the United States of America.
Well, like I answered to my sister, like when you and I talk all the time. A lot of people ask me, when is the best time to buy a home? Well, what is the best interest? Who gives me the best deal? Okay.
Yeah.
You know what? You have to be careful with that. Okay. But at the same time, if you qualify, if you are ready to buy a house, that is when you're ready to buy a house.
Exactly.
You can't just think about the market or what's happening, because then you'll never buy a house.
Sure.
Okay.
You'll be waiting.
Exactly. I'm going to do the best I can and push you in the right position and explain new things to you so you understand better what you need to do.
Sure.
And at least don't put yourself in a bad place. The point is, in the end of the day, if you are ready to buy a home, the time to buy a home is now.
Sure.
It don't matter what's happening in the market. If you do that and you start talking about who does this, who does that, you will never buy a home.
Sure.
Okay? And you just basically shoot yourself in the foot.
Yeah, you'll be sitting out at the pool, keep dipping a toe in and waiting for the water to be perfect to jump
Why?
in.
How many people didn't buy houses, when they was 3.5% or 4%? How come?
Yeah.
Because they were still saying the same thing.
Couldn't afford it. Couldn't,
I don't know if I should, and here we're looking where we are now.
Yeah. I just saw the time. We're out of it. It is 9 o'clock here, but I want to tell everybody, if you're wanting to have this conversation, get a hold of Elliot with Loan Depot. He's starting to put roots down. He's got an office here. It's not quite ready yet, but he's still kind of mobile for the time being. But give him a couple weeks here, and he'll get, as soon as he puts some paint and some carpet in, he'll get the office all snazzed up here. But reach out to him direct by his cell 719-237-4680. Again, that's 719-237-4680. You can still call the office number, and they'll get you to them. 505-445-2070. Again, 505-445-2070. You can also email Elliot at erodriguez@loandepot.com.
No, Elliot Rodriguez.
Oh, it's all full out Elliot. I'm sorry. Yeah, my eyes need to be thicker. It's E. Rodriguez was the old one. Elliot Rodriguez
at loanedepot.com, or go to loanedepot.com/Elliot Rodriguez, and you can check out his website too. loanedepot.com/Elliot Rodriguez.
Yeah, go in there, check it out, so you can see what we're doing.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, it's all there.
And then, like I said, reach out, have a call, and tell him your situation, and have a conversation about what he can do for you today.
Yeah, look me up on Facebook, and you see what we do. You know,
Absolutely.
I post everything in there, so people can see it
And
what's happening.
he's like a lot of folks in the real estate in that industry. He's a lot of times working evenings, nights, because that's when you're off work. So he'll
catching up everything I
that's right. So if it's after hours and things, he'll come to you and all. He'll take care of all that stuff. So thank you, sir, as always. Appreciate it, the visit. And we'll see you here next time.
Thank you for having me.
Let's see what craziness in the world happens between now and next month that we're talking about here, and see who's falling off bikes and all that good stuff. So. Thanks, Elliot.
Thank you.
Eliminating them by begging the crown prince, who I've never liked, in a country that I've never trusted, that is duplicitous and has a human rights record that is as atrocious as the day is long. But this is where they're taking the country. They don't give a damn about $5 a gallon gasoline. They don't care about a 41-year high of inflation. They're telling us that there's nothing we can do. That is a lie. There's plenty that they can do. But it would take them literally being deprogrammed from their indoctrination into their climate alarmist religious cult. But they're not going to do that.
Check out the Sean Hannity radio show later today, right here.
All right, it's summer, and if your home project to-do list looks anything like mine, it's pretty long. Stay cool. Save up to 40% off site-wide at Blinds.com. With Blinds.com, they have a premium selection of shades, shutters, drapes, and much more. Outdoor shades to transform your deck or your patio. Also, they have live professional design consultation and installation available. Shop at Blinds.com right now. Save up to 40% off site-wide for Father's Day. Up to 40% off at Blinds.com. Rules and restrictions may apply.
Finding great candidates to hire can be like, well, trying to find a needle in a haystack, but not with ZipRecruiter. Its powerful technology actively finds and invites qualified candidates to apply to your job. So while other companies might deliver a lot of hay, ZipRecruiter finds you the needle in the haystack.
See why 4 out of 5 employers who post a job on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. Try ZipRecruiter for free at ZipRecruiter.com/free. That's ZipRecruiter.com/free.
Your weather forecast is brought to you by Do Right Roofing. For a free estimate, give Do Right Roofing a call today. 623-2273. That's 623-2273.
I'm meteorologist Steve Hamilton with your Pecos Valley weather. That monsoon moisture moving off to the west. Just for today, we'll be in the mid-90s and lots of sunshine. Overnight, a few clouds and upper 60s, and then maybe an afternoon shower or thunderstorm on Friday. Pretty hot with our high in the upper 90s, and then scattered showers and thunderstorms in the afternoon on Saturday, upper 90s, maybe a late day storm again on Sunday, low 90s. That's your latest forecast. I'm meteorologist Steve Hamilton.
With the Wall Street Business Report, I'm Rich Thomason. Fed Chairman Jerome Powell says a recession is possible even though the central bank is trying to prevent one.
In recent days, President Biden and his administration have emphasized that a recession is not inevitable. The Fed chairman took a similar message to Capitol Hill, where he faced skeptical lawmakers. Powell acknowledged that a recession is possible as the Fed pushes interest rates higher. But he said the goal is to achieve a soft landing, a reduction in inflation and a slowdown in growth without triggering a recession and high unemployment. Greg Clugston, the White House.
Unemployment applications fell to 229,000 last week, a decline of 2,000 from the previous week. Wall Street opened higher this morning, the market continuing to keep an ear on remarks by Fed Chairman Powell. He's testifying again today on Capitol Hill. For the Wall Street Business Report, I'm Rich Thomason.
No doubt about it, summer is a time for family fun and adventure. And whether it's a drive across the country for an epic vacation or a drive across town for epic ice cream, you have to have a vehicle you can depend on. A vehicle that's comfortable for the whole family and all your gear. That's why you should begin your summer adventures at Roswell Ford. Here at the Tailgate Nation, you'll find southeastern New Mexico's largest inventory of exceptionally nice pre-owned cars, trucks, and SUVs. All have survived a rigorous 139-point inspection, and Roswell Ford even gives you a 3-day money-back guarantee. So where do we get such great pre-owned vehicles? Well, Roswell Ford is always looking for gently used cars and trucks. If you have one you want to sell, we'll make you a cash offer on the spot and give you a week to think about it. Cross town or cross country, get your summer adventures started right with an upgraded ride from Roswell Ford, the Tailgate Nation, at the corner of 9th and Main, the official sponsor of summer fun.
What if? What if the government lied? What if aliens survived the crash? What if they escaped? What if they're still here? Hiding, waiting, preparing. What then? Find out the truth behind the 1947 Roswell incident in novel form. TheVetrixSeries.com.
Your home for Armed American Radio is 106.5 FM, KEND Roswell.
And that's going to do it for us. Thanks for allowing us to be a part of your day. Have an amazing day. If you missed any part,